2024, the battle of alliances. Split India, advantage NDA. What do the voters think? Political stock exchange is a big focus on the news track.
Here's a look at the headlines I'm tracking today. Stunning new images of the lunar surface captured by Chandrayaan-3, the Vikram lander, now just 112 kilometers away from the surface of the moon. UP Congress chief declares Rahul Gandhi will contest the 2024 elections from Amethi against Smriti Irani. BJP says nothing left for the Gandhi family in Amethi anymore. Kota administration comes up with a bizarre solution for rising student suicides, fixes fans with springs in PGs and hostels. Protests in West Bengal's Jadavpur University turn ugly. BJP demands NIA probe into students' death. TMC alleges BJP workers thrash students. Extortion racket busted in Bengaluru. Mumbai-based model blackmailed victims by threatening them with conversion. Nearly 50 men trapped. The main accused model is still on the run. They've come together with the aim of defeating the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But Team India seems to be split wide open. The Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party are sparring over seat sharing in the capital. The left has declared that it will not ally with the TMC in Bengal, and the Congress and the TMC aren't seeing eye to eye either. Is the split in Team India going to work to the advantage of the BJP?
United, they stand with the aim of taking on Narendra Modi in 2024. But they are divided by political and electoral interests. Team India may be padding up for the general elections next year, but internal differences of seat sharing appear to be the biggest sticking point. In the latest, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are in a tug-of-war for 7 Delhi Lok Sabha seats. It all started with Delhi Congress leader Alka Lamba's surprise declaration.
दिल्ली 19वां राज्य था, 24 कैसे जीतना है और बिल्कुल आदेश हुआ है कि हमें 7 सीटों पर मजबूत संगठन के साथ हर नेता को आज से अभी से निकलना है। 7 महीने 7 सीटें हैं। ये बात हुई कि जिसकी दिल्ली उसका देश होता है। ये दिल्ली का इतिहास बताता है।
This set of cat among the pigeons, the Aam Aadmi Party threatened to boycott the upcoming India meet in Mumbai.
मैंने उनका वो बयान सुना और अगर कांग्रेस ने मन बना लिया है कि वो दिल्ली में अलायंस नहीं करेंगे हमारे साथ, तो इंडिया अलायंस वाली मीटिंग को अटेंड करने का कोई मतलब नहीं, अपना टाइम वेस्ट करने का कोई मतलब नहीं। हमारा शीर्ष नेतृत्व डिसाइड करेगा कि अगली इंडिया अलायंस की मीटिंग हम अटेंड करेंगे या नहीं।
देखिए, इस तरीके की बातें तो आती रहेंगी। जब इंडिया के सभी घटक दल बैठेंगे, सीट शेयरिंग पे चर्चा करेंगे, सब पार्टियों के राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व आमने सामने बैठ के इस पे चर्चा करेंगे, तब पता चलेगा कौन सी पार्टी को कौन सी सीटें मिलती हैं। ये तो बहुत आगे की बातें हैं।
Both parties went into separate huddle as confusion and chaos continued.
आम आदमी पार्टी को जो है, मैं समझ रहा हूं कि बहुत इमेच्योर लोग वहां बैठे हुए लगते हैं मुझको। किसी प्रकार का मीडिया के बयान से वो इतने बड़े डिसीजन लेना चाहते हैं तो शायद ईश्वर भी उसको नहीं बचा पाएंगे। जो है, इफ एवर टोल इफ एनीबडी इज गिविंग, हमारे कोई जो है रूटीन में जो आपकी डिबेट में आते हैं कोई प्रवक्ता है, तो आप मीडिया के साथियों को भी समझना चाहिए कि दे आर नॉट द कॉम्पिटेंट पीपल टू मेक कमेंट ऑन सच अ बिग इश्यू।
But the Aam Aadmi Party versus Congress Delhi dangle seems to be far from over. Several Delhi Congress netas are now openly snipping at Arvind Kejriwal and his party.
3.5 साल से मैं सड़कों पर हूँ, पोल खोल रहा हूँ अरविंद केजरीवाल की। शराब के खिलाफ कांग्रेस ने ही आंदोलन किया और आज शराब मंत्री जेल में, सत्येंद्र जैन जेल में, अभी तो डीटीसी घोटाला भी सामने कांग्रेस की वजह से आने वाला है। कोविड काल में यदि फेलियर इस सरकार का हो तो सवाल पूछने वाला कांग्रेस का कार्यकर्ता था। मैं दावे के साथ कहता हूँ कि 2024 में कांग्रेस की सरकार केंद्र में बनेगी और 2025 में अरविंद केजरीवाल चुनाव हारेंगे।
The political drama gave BJP enough opportunity to target the India alliance.
वास्तविकता जो ये है कि जो विपक्षी एकता के नाम पे जो गठबंधन, महागठबंधन, महाठगबंधन का ये बनाया गया है वो पूरा फेल होगा और उसकी शुरुआत हो गई है। कांग्रेस और आम आदमी पार्टी के ये बयान इस बात को दर्शाते हैं कि ये गठबंधन चलने वाला नहीं है किसी भी रूप में।
All eyes are now on the Mumbai meeting. Will opposition allies be able to put their differences aside? Bureau Report, India Today.
So is the Aam Aadmi Party in or out of the India alliance? Will AAP and Congress be able to reconcile their differences? What about the differences between the left and the TMC and the Congress, and what impact does this have in the eyes of the voters? I'll take you through the responses in the Sea Voter political stock exchange that we've been carrying on India Today, but let me introduce you to our guest joining us on this broadcast, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Sanju Verma, squaring off against her, Aishwarya Mahadev, national spokesperson of the Congress, Jasmine Shah, chief spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Yashwant Deshmukh is the lead psephologist at Sea Voter. I want to see what the Janta thinks, respondents in the Sea Voter poll, when they were asked, will Arvind Kejriwal quit the India alliance after the Delhi Services Law? That's the question posed by Yashwant Deshmukh and his team at Sea Voter. Here are the responses we picked up. 30% of the overall respondents said no. They think that the Kejriwal party can pull out of the India alliance. 39% are saying they don't think that Arvind Kejriwal is going to quit. So while more people think AAP is not going to move away from the India alliance, 30% are saying they think that this is now inevitable. On that note, let me go across first to Jasmine Shah and get his sense, because this has created new bitterness and acrimony. In any case, at any time, when the question of how these 7 seats will be distributed between AAP and the Congress would have been discussed and debated, it would have been highly contentious. Will it be 4-3, 3-4, 5-2, 6-1? That would have been always problematic. Now you've got a situation which seems to suggest, Jasmine, to viewers, that maybe there may be no alliance at all. From your perch as lead spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, is the AAP in India at this moment, or is it on its way out? Let's start from there, sir.
Rahul, first let me say that there is absolutely no change in position as far as AAP being part of the India alliance or not. And there are definitely the people of BJP and certain friends of BJP, some in the media and some in other parties, who are trying to destabilize the India alliance because they know that they don't stand a chance against the India alliance. But India alliance is here to stay. Aam Aadmi Party is here to stay as a part of the India alliance, and we will make sure that in 2024 there is a resounding victory that India alliance gets. But we will have to understand, Rahul, that these murmurs that you hear from 1 or 2 leaders in the Congress, who are they? Has Mr. Kharge said anything? Has Mr. Rahul Gandhi, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, has any national leader, has any member of parliament, has any MLA of Congress said anything? No. These are a few scattered leaders in Delhi who perhaps think that their personal politics is more important than saving the nation, saving the constitution, which is what brings all these parties together. Today it is, some comments issued by some leaders here. Maybe some other parties will also have some people issuing murmurs. But at the end of the day, we have come together for a larger cause. We are putting our personal pride, our personal ego, our personal battles aside because the country is important. The direction in which the country is going, tomorrow, Rahul, mind you, there will be no opposition party left. It is only the Prime Minister and his 30 governors who are going to rule the entire country. Democracy, as we know it, is under threat, and that is the reason
Sanju Verma, Jasmine Shah suggesting that these are BJP proxies or non-entities in the Congress with an axe to grind because of past allegiance who are trying to vitiate the atmosphere, confuse voters and just make things look awkward. AAP is very much on board the India alliance, and yes, it will be difficult, but they will find a way of moving forward. Let the BJP not try and make trouble. How do you respond to this? That this trouble is coming from your proxies?
You know, Rahul, there's a famous quote by Tennessee Williams: the only thing worse than a liar is a liar who is also a hypocrite. And I think there is no dearth of hypocrites both within the Congress ecosystem and of course the Aam Aadmi Party, whose very essence, of politics is all about hypocrisy. And I will tell you why very quickly. You know, this is not just about the divisive politics that is at work within the Congress camp or within the Aam Aadmi Party. BJP has nothing to do with it. Why are we only talking about Delhi? Let us look at what is happening to the Congress in Maharashtra. You have a situation where you have Prithviraj Chavan against Ashok Chavan, you have Bhai Jagtap against Nana Patole, you have Milind Deora against everybody else. So the Congress is a divided house in Maharashtra. I'll very quickly, please bear with me, Rahul. I heard the Aam Aadmi Party, don't rush me up. Then you look at Rajasthan, it's a well-known fact. There is, no love lost between Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot. Ditto goes for Chhattisgarh. There is no love lost between Bhupesh Baghel and T.S. Singhdeo, who've been at loggerheads for the longest time. Now, within this entire framework, you juxtapose another party called Aam Aadmi Party, which has suddenly decided initially to offer conditional support based on whether the Congress would offer its allegiance to the Aam Aadmi Party on the Delhi Services Bill or not. Once that support came in, Arvind Kejriwal said, "Ab to hum Congress ke saath haath mein haath milakar aage badhenge."
Okay.
But Sandeep Dixit, mind you, in 10 seconds, Sandeep Dixit is no rookie politician. Sandeep Dixit, on various panels, Aam Aadmi Party spokespeople have said that he is the son of the ex-Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dixit. So for you to say that Sandeep Dixit is some era-gera scattered leader sitting somewhere and making innocuous statements, I think that shows you lack political maturity to understand that it is not just Delhi. Even in Punjab, Congress leader Pratap Singh Bajwa is at loggerheads with Bhagwant Singh Mann. So I think as far as...
So now Aishwarya Mahadev, from what I gather from those who were in the meeting where this matter was discussed, it's not just Sandeep Dixit and Alka Lamba, but even others who seem to have come away with the impression that Rahul Gandhi isn't very hot on this alliance with the AAP, that he seems to believe that the likes of Ajay Makan, Sandeep Dixit and the others are correct, that the Congress, if it were to go by itself, might do reasonably well or better than in the past, and therefore if it allies with the AAP, it's actually weakening its case in the long term. That seems to be the thinking in Rahul Gandhi's mind. So it's not just Alka Lamba, not just Sandeep Dixit, but even RG seems to have a different kind of position on this.
Good evening, Rahul. First and foremost, when the BJP talks about hypocrisy, there is a rare kind of hypocrisy with allying with a particular party in Jammu and Kashmir and later putting the same particular person you allied with when it didn't suit you under house arrest. But let's talk about the particular psychologists that seem to have been created from the media and the opposition or the government alike when trying to take down what the India alliance is. Rahul, there are a few things that need to be clarified. One, opposition parties, any opposition party, even if they are inherently parties that fight against each other, every single opposition party in this country is being stifled, is being targeted, is being attacked, and unless the leaders jump into the washing machine of the BJP, which cleanses them, you see the way that they are, subject to the manner in which that they are attacked. This initial instance, and I agree with my colleague from the Aam Aadmi Party, that one also, and as you saw as the in-charge has clarified, there was no talk of an alliance, but we believe that the India parties have to put smaller, more local, more regional interests for a later discussion and work towards building a national consensus first. Mallikarjun Kharge Sahab has also stated this. The Congress party emphatically stands to work with all opposition parties in a manner which not only accommodates them, but also ensures that the interest of everybody is taken.
Rajdeep sir, is the AAP Congress alliance still on, or is it likely to be off? Because both Jasmine Shah and the Congress are saying they want to ally, but the practical difficulties are too many.
Well, I think as of now it's on. I mean, the fact is Arvind Kejriwal, by all accounts, is certainly going to the Mumbai meeting, which will take place on the 31st and 1st. I am told that Arvind Kejriwal has sought appointments with the top Congress leadership, and Kejriwal in particular is pushing it. The Congress...
How will seats get split? What's the likely split?
How will it be split is anybody's guess. I think the AAP
no,
is...
but that's what it will come down to.
No, the AAP is open, I am told, to even 4-3 or 5-2.
Who gets 4?
From what I gather, Aam Aadmi Party will not even oppose if the Congress gets 4 and the AAP gets 3. Look, these are seat sharing details that the two.
No, but that's what it's all about.
It's about intent. No, Rahul, I disagree. It's about intent. Is there an intent to forge an alliance? Once you have an intent to forge an alliance at the very top, forget about the Alka Lambas, the Sandeep Dikshits. This alliance has to be cemented if Rahul Gandhi and Arvind Kejriwal are keen on it. As of now,
but is it correct that Rahul Gandhi isn't very hot on this alliance?
What we know is Arvind Kejriwal certainly is willing to go the extra mile. Is Rahul Gandhi willing to go the extra mile to reach out to Arvind Kejriwal is still a question mark. And I think that will have to be resolved before we can say with confidence that the alliance is going ahead. The sense I get though is that there is a recognition on both sides at the very top that we're going to have to look at this alliance if we want to have a wider nationwide India alliance, because it cannot be that in states like Delhi or indeed Bengal, there is so much of infighting and scars of the past that, you know, the alliance doesn't even take off. But for now, my sense is both sides have given enough intentions of going ahead. I'll give you one example. On the Delhi ordinance, the Delhi Services Bill, a section of the Delhi Congress was very clear. We want to support the Modi government on it. We should not be with Arvind Kejriwal. However, when it came to the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the Congress went along with Arvind Kejriwal. So clearly both sides are slowly moving closer to each other. Whether there will be a formal alliance, I don't know, but I sense there will be.
There is some fog in the political air on the question of this alliance between AAP and the Congress, and it seems that that reflects in your responses as well. 30% saying yes, Kejriwal will quit, 39% saying no, AAP will not quit the India alliance. So voters also, as this uncertainty continues, the voters also get confused of what to make of this tu meme. Yashwant?
Well, Rahul, the confusion of the voter is always going to be there till the final seat sharing happens, and also because of the different people saying different things against each other. It's a tough proposition unless both the parties decide that, okay, you know, I'm asking the rank and file and our respective spokesperson not to speak against the other alliance partners. Till that point of time, this confusion is going to remain. However, I agree with Rajdeep over here that it is the intention which matters the more rather than the exact seats which they are going to share or contest against each other. And please remember, in the previous opposition alliances also, there used to be something called friendly fights. You know, in 1989, we have seen that. Even in other occasions between 96 to 99, we have seen that. So those kind of friendly fights, as they call it, that can also happen. But largely speaking, what they need to do...
No, but a friendly fight to me is a bit of an oxymoron, Yashwant. You know, how do you put up a candidate and then have a friendly fight? What is this Noora Kushti? I mean, they will damage the other party's votes.
It is an oxymoron, but in earlier sense of 89, and Rajdeep might correct me if I'm wrong in here, that friendly fight worked for the opposition alliances, particularly in the Bihar and UP area where the caste equations mattered a lot, you know, where, you know, the other friendly fight, you know, posted a candidate which was of the same caste which the main contestant was contesting. So the votes got divided and it helped the friend. But those kind of things were limited to UP and Bihar politics, not much beyond that. And I doubt that now there is any scope for any third party penetration in these two states. I think the SP plus alliance here and RJD plus alliance over there are quite significantly in pole position. So I don't think those kind of things matter anymore. This friendly fight is unlikely to have any.
Is that an option, Rajdeep? You know, let me just try and explain this in an electoral context. Let's assume there is a candidate of a particular community, and if in the hypothetical scenario of a friendly fight, the party which is supposed to be in a friendly fight with somebody else puts up a candidate of that same community, they could split the BJP's votes and potentially then help the third party which is supposed to benefit from this friendly fight. But then they're trying to be too clever by half.
I don't see a friendly fight actually. 89 is a good example where there were these strategic friendly fights that took place and they worked at the time. Largely because there was a sense of anti-Congressism that bound all these parties, BJP on the right, left on the left, and VP Singh and the Janata Dal in the center. I think in 2024, I don't see too many friendly fights taking place. I think it's very clear. Even when the left takes on Trinamool Congress in Bengal, as is likely, it won't be a friendly fight. When the Congress takes on the left in Kerala, it won't be a friendly fight. But I don't see that happening with AAP and Congress. With AAP and Congress, I believe if there has to be an alliance, it has to be a proper alliance. There is no space in the AAP-Congress equation for a friendly fight. They will have to sit across the table. They will have to be willing to talk to each other and then work out an alliance which can be reasonably successful. Not just the 7 seats of Delhi, but the 13 of Punjab, the 10 of Haryana, potentially some in Gujarat, and indeed in Rajasthan. In all these states, if they're actually willing to work together, they can make a difference from 30 to 40 seats. Goa's 2 seats as well, if I may include them. So 30 to 40 seats, the AAP and Congress, if they have the intent, can work together.
Okay, I want to come to some of the other questions. Will Team India benefit from the reinstatement of Rahul Gandhi as a member of parliament? 41% of the respondents in the Sea Voter poll say yes. Team India benefits from Rahul's reinstatement. 48% say no. The Team India does not benefit. Should Rahul Gandhi be the convener of Team India? Let's take a look at the responses in the Sea Voter poll. 38% saying yes, Rahul should be convener. 41% saying no, he should not be convener. So who should be convener? Let's take a look at that question. Who should be the convener of Team India? Let's take a look at the responses on this question. 31% of the respondents say Rahul Gandhi should be convener. 12% say Nitish Kumar should be convener. Mamata Banerjee as convener is 8%. Kejriwal at 10%. Sharad Pawar at 6%. I don't know whether they understand the role of convener or not, Yashwant, in this poll, but for some reason, your data seems to suggest that people would like to see Rahul Gandhi as convener. What sense do you make of that 31%?
Well, Rahul Gandhi's equity is on rise among the opposition rank and file since his Bharat Jodo Yatra and after the Karnataka election victory. That has been consistently pointed out in our snap poll and also in our trackers, So he is on the rise. Actually, what has happened over here is that after the Bharat Jodo Yatra and Karnataka victory, the Congress rank and file and Congress cadre has kind of galvanized for Rahul Gandhi more. Earlier, they got confused and, in fact, at one point of time after the Punjab Assembly election, actually, name of Arvind Kejriwal had overtaken Rahul Gandhi. And that was the lowest point for Rahul Gandhi as a national leadership alternative. But since then, he has recovered a lot. So I don't think there is much confusion as far as the opposition voters are concerned. They are very clear that without the Congress in the central leadership and without the Gandhis within the Congress leadership, things are not going to go in the same direction, but I doubt.
Jasmine Shah, what do you make of this response? Sitting in the Aam Aadmi Party, 31% of the respondents overall and 39% who opposition voters say they'd like to see Rahul Gandhi as the convener. Arvind Kejriwal only at 10%.
Rahul, this is not a popularity contest. We are here for far, far bigger issues than any personal ambitions. And I think it is too presumptuous for us to sit here and say who should be the convener. The meetings in Mumbai are actually going to decide some of these crucial issues. And I think it is more important that all the 26 alliance partners should be in sync about these questions than a very large population. The people actually care about the vision. The people care about what is it that the India alliance will do to get us out of the trouble that the BJP government has put us in. For 9 years, Rahul, today the country has seen that today we have a weak prime minister, we have an arrogant prime minister, we have a corrupt prime minister. He is a prime minister who does not speak on any major issue. The country is burning, the peace is disturbed, Manipur is burning, Haryana is burning, the Prime Minister doesn't address issue. Look at Mahungai. Rahul, you know that the CPI inflation has reached 7.5%. Historic levels. Tomato ke daam 250 ke upar ho gaye. Is the Prime Minister even addressing the issues? So the question in front of the people is not who is going to be the convener, but tell us how is India Alliance going to address these issues, and that is the agenda. And that is the vision.
Who is going to be the convener?
Please come in.
Just 1 second, Sanju. I'm coming to you in a moment. Because this is an important question. Who will be the convener? Respondents seem to want Rahul Gandhi to be the convener.
I think the respondents may want Rahul Gandhi, but Rahul Gandhi, I don't think, wants to be the convener of this alliance. He has shown no inclination to actually.
He can barely keep all the Congress leaders on the same pole. How will he convene the India alliance with Nitish Kumar, Mamata Banerjee, Kejriwal and Sharad Pawar?
No, to be fair to Rahul Gandhi, I think he wants a different role for himself. He wants to be this person who possibly is out on the street over the next few months. We are told there could be another Bharat Jodo Yatra, possibly from Porbandar to Arunachal Pradesh, from October to December, to Manipur, from Porbandar to Manipur. So Rahul Gandhi wants a very different role for himself. Convener is someone who will have to work on the nuts and bolts of this alliance. And the fact is, this alliance is not short of choices there. You've got Mamata Banerjee, 3-time Chief Minister, Nitish Kumar, who's been Chief Minister for over 2 decades. You've got Sharad Pawar with all his experience. I don't know whether Mr. Pawar has the energy at the moment to travel across the country, given what's also happened in Maharashtra. So I would think...
Can he be trusted given all the confusion he's created?
Look, I think once you're part of the India alliance, you expect a senior leader like Mr. Pawar, having gone so far, I think he's going to stay with the alliance certainly till the Lok Sabha elections and maybe even beyond that to the Vidhan Sabha. But my point is, I think we in the media asking who's the convener, who's the face, I think the real issue is what's the agenda? What's your strategy? Are you willing to make those sacrifices? Do you have the intent to, to compromise? Those are the questions I think we should be asking rather than who will be the convener, which will be sorted out. Who will be the face? I don't think they will have a face, Rahul, till the Lok Sabha election. They do not want to make this Modi versus a specific individual.
Sanju Verma wants to come in on the responses. 31% of the respondents would like Rahul Gandhi to be the convener.
Rahul and Rajdeep, I would first like to respond to the reckless allegations made by Jasmine Shah, who himself was summoned by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with the excise liquor scam by the Delhi government in February this year. So Jasmine Shah, who has been interrogated by the Enforcement Directorate, sitting here on India Today and calling the Prime Minister corrupt, I think that is the height of hypocrisy. We don't need a bhashan from the likes of a party whose
what is the 70,000 crore allegation that your Prime Minister put on NCP and then invited those leaders?
I did not
make him a corrupt Prime Minister?
Okay, Jasmine, let her conclude. Let her complete. Go on, Sanju.
No, then why do you go personally? You cannot make
I will finish.
attacks.
I will make an attack on you if you attack the Prime Minister.
One at a time. Don't speak over each other.
Shut
no,
up.
1 second. No, let's keep the tone. Let's keep the language proper, please.
Just because
you
expose
Jasmine, let her speak, please. No, 1 second. Fade it down. Let Sanju complete. Sanju, go on, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul. This is the intolerance I'm talking of. He abused the Prime Minister, calling him incompetent and corrupt. I did not heckle the man. The moment I started my response, look at the manner in which Jasmine Shah, somebody who's been interrogated and an accused in the liquor scam, is giving a bhashan on morality. I repeat, Arvind Kejriwal said, Manish Sisodia ko to Bharat Ratna milna chahiye. Satinder Jain to Bhagat Singh ka dusra avatar hai. Aapke dono, your top brass, Manish Sisodia, Satinder Jain, did not cover themselves in glory. Now there are reports about extortionist in chief, Naresh Balyan. Your own MLA, Bhupinder Singh June, on the floor of the assembly says, please let me finish, 10 seconds more. On the floor of the assembly, Bhupinder Singh June, MLA of the Aam Aadmi Party, says, दिल्ली की जनता को गटर का गंदा मैला बदबूदार पानी इसलिए पीना पड़ रहा है क्योंकि पिछले 1.5 साल से दिल्ली जल बोर्ड ने कोई काम नहीं किया.
You made some personal allegations at Jasmine Shah, so I'm going to give him an opportunity to respond before I go across to the others. Jasmine, very quickly, please.
You gave him a chance and I responded back. Now you are again going back to him.
First of
so
all,
I need my rebuttal again.
Sanju should know that her own union minister BJP's own union minister on the floor of the parliament says to the opposition that "Jada mat bolo, warna ED aa jayegi." And that is the thing. I think today is a matter of pride that if ED knocks on your door as an opposition leader.
Okay, Sanju, you didn't want to be disturbed. Extend the same courtesy to Jasmine. Let him speak.
You are an accused in the liquor scandal. So
10 seconds.
Sanju, 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Let me just finish. Today when the entire country knows that Manipur is burning, Haryana is burning, Sanju Verma has nothing to address that. She is not even willing to take accountability that the Prime Minister has utterly failed. For 76 days, he chose to remain silent. He looked the other way when a part of the country was burning.
Aishwarya Mahadev, what are you making of this number which says...
What authority does she have to ask questions?
That 31% of the respondents would like to see Rahul Gandhi as the convener of India. From what I know of Mr. Gandhi, that's not the position he wants for himself, but that's what the data is suggesting. Aishwarya.
You know, Rahul, I think ever since Mr. Gandhi has been back in Parliament, it's been a shot in the arm for the entire alliance and especially the Congress party. And irrespective of who is the convener, I believe that every single head of the party and even the office bearers part of the alliance are extremely competent, bring a massive amount of experience. And I think whoever is the convener has a very hard and difficult task of ensuring a common platform which obviously listens to the voices of everybody, and I think that is important. And again, the statement of somebody being made, and I believe it came from your side, to say that Rahul Gandhi cannot keep his own leaders together, how will he keep an alliance going, is in very, very bad taste.
No, it's a fact. Jyotiraditya Scindia left, Jitin Prasad left, RPN Singh left, Hemanta Biswa Sarma left. And many of them left because they thought Rahul Gandhi didn't speak to them properly, kept them waiting, was playing with his dogs, eating biscuits. Those are the stories these leaders have narrated.
Rahul, to use the excuse of somebody not giving them an attention or giving them attention as the cover or the smoke screen for your own greed and for you to fulfill your aspirations is not something that people cannot see beyond. We understand everybody cares about their political relevance, and to blame all of that on one person who has worked and walked across the length and breadth, who works for the people, I believe is extremely, extremely painful. And the last thing I want to talk about is that the BJP today has come out on an accusatory mode where all they have, because they're so, like, you know, whether it's in Parliament, whether it's outside, everybody is so shaken by the fact that the India alliance is going strong that the only thing they have is ad hominem and rhetoric. And to the
So I want to go across and take the next question, because we have a few more questions as well which I want to run through. The question is about opposition unity, and Yashwant and his team ask whether the Congress is hijacking the opposition unity plank. Is it becoming overbearing? Here are the respondents' answers. 37% saying that the Congress has indeed hijacked opposition unity. 35% saying no, the Congress hasn't hijacked opposition unity. Amongst the opposition people, 38 and 33. Amongst the NDA, the numbers are 37 and 40. So this question, Yashwant, I don't fully understand the answer, because it seems rather split. Voters not quite sure of what to make of this. They're not really of the view that Congress is hijacking opposition unity. But many of them think, okay, maybe it's getting a bit overbearing.
Well, there is always a conflict in that way, because you know there is always a significant number of voters who always feel that Congress is critical and important, and there is a significant number of opposition voters who don't feel that way, Rahul, simply because let's not forget that big number of opposition players do have the voters which are anti-BJP and anti-Congress both. Let's not forget that. So this is a very critical thing to understand. Many of them have actually eaten up the complete Congress vote share and formed their party, but many of them still have the voters which continue to have anti-BJP and anti-Congress sentiments both with them. And they have been contesting against the Congress at the state level. So I don't really blame the voters for that kind of confusion. And at this point
is the Congress beginning to get overbearing? Because Rahul Gandhi is back. I mean, Yashwant's data says he should be convener. So obviously the Congress will say, boss, we are the big deal. We are the big brothers here.
I think, Rahul, that is one of the big questions. What role will the Congress play? Will it be the magnet attracting these forces, or is it going to be a domineering player? I don't think it can be. Remember, this is a party with 53 Lok Sabha seats. Yes, it's one Karnataka. Yes, it will go to Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh as the principal opposition to the BJP. Yes, it's got a larger footprint than all the other India allies, but it's going to have to do give and take. You see, that is the challenge. I think that's the question to ask, rather than who's the convener, who's going to be the face, is the Congress willing to reach out to these parties and recognize that you're going to have to compromise, possibly fight fewer seats than the Congress has ever done in the history of the party if it wants to really cement an India alliance. Bengal will be a good example, a test of this. Maharashtra will be a test. Delhi, Punjab, these are the areas. Uttar Pradesh, how much are you willing to concede? I think these are the challenges that this party will face at the moment, because to its one thing going for the Congress is, once you reach 53, there's only one place you can go, most people believe, which is up.
You can't be sure about that.
Well, yes, but I think they recognize that, and I think the problem is there is still a section within the Congress which wants to call the shots. Now, how do you call the shots with people who have been chief ministers 3 times, like a Mamata Banerjee, Nitish Kumar, Arvind Kejriwal, all of whom are strong regional players? Is the Congress, how much space is the Congress willing to concede to these players? Rahul, I think is the critical question at the moment. So, has the Congress hijacked the opposition stage? I would be reluctant to use the word hijack. Even in Mumbai, I am told the meet is being organized by the Congress in tandem with NCP and Shiv Sena. Now, that hasn't happened too often in the past. Only Bengaluru was Congress organized. It will depend on who the convener is. That will give us a sense of whether the Congress is hijacked.
Who's likely to be the convener right now?
I think the Congress in an ideal position would like the convener's job, if not the chairperson. They would like to create a chairperson and a convener, take the chairperson's post. Convener could be any of these regional chief ministers as well. So you give the impression that you're taking people along. I think the challenge for the India alliance is precisely that, to take along. I was giving this example, Rahul, 1989. The BJP actually was willing to be partners in a way with the left. Both of them supported VP Singh's government outside because it made strategic sense, because you were looking to come back from the pummeling you'd got in 84. The Congress is also looking to come back from 2 pummelings, and therefore may be more willing, Rahul, to actually sacrifice much more than they've ever done in any Indian election. And I think that is going to be the critical factor in the next 3 months.
Do you trust the Congress at this moment, or do you not trust them? What's the sense on that?
Rahul, if we hadn't trusted Congress, or be it any other alliance, which is a party which is part of this alliance, we would not have been part of the India alliance. And I think we should look at substantive moments where the alliance stood together, rather than again going by 1 or 2 leaders at a district or at a smaller level. When it mattered in the Rajya Sabha, the entire opposition came out with a historic vote. 102 has not happened in 52 years in the parliament against any government. But the opposition found the act together. The entire opposition met in Bangalore, very productive discussions. The name of the alliance was formed, and in Bombay also we are going to have a very productive meeting. So we are here because we believe in the idea of India alliance, and which is to save the country, to save the constitution, and to save the democracy of India from thugs of BJP.
Okay,
may I come in, Rahul?
Sanju Verma, the Congress and the opposition party is holding together, much like the BJP would want them to disintegrate. So far, that hasn't happened. There will be the odd fissure, but so far they've largely held together and are building up to Mumbai.
I want to say a couple of things. First and foremost, 2024 में आएगा तो मोदी ही. This Rahul Kanwal also knows. This Rajdeep Sardesai, much as he might want to not admit as much on national television, knows deep inside that there's no competition to the charisma and popularity of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And I'll tell you a couple of things. And very quickly at that, you can keep here, discussing ऐसा होगा, वैसा होगा. दिल्ली का रास्ता लखनऊ से होकर जाता है. And the BJP last time in Uttar Pradesh in Lok Sabha 2019 got 49.98% vote share with 62 seats. The Congress was reduced to a measly 1 after Rahul Gandhi was booted out of Amethi. The point next to this that I again want to make is that just look at the recent elections in Tamil Nadu in 2021. If you recall Rahul and Rajdeep, the Tamil Nadu, assembly constituency number is 234. and DMK gave the Congress only 25 seats to contest out of 234, which means that they gave away only 10.68% of the total number of seats. And do you think that these are the kind of people where they can't even give their alliance partner at least a respectable 20-25% seats to contest? Ye Lok Sabha mein they will allow any space to another party. And the other thing that I always say on your show, the reliability, the big R factor, be it Chandrasekhar, be it Devegowda, be it I.K. Gujral, all these governments fell because of one person who chose to be Brutus, and that was the Congress party. And my fourth point, somebody here spoke about inflation. It's very important for me to set the record straight. Yes, the CPI inflation in July went up to 7.44%, but equally, let us not forget that in April, the food inflation was 3.84%, May 2.91%, CPI and wholesale inflation in May was minus 1.59%, in June minus 1.24%. And do you know, Rahul and Rajdeep, why inflation went up to 7.4% in July? The three states which contributed to the 7.4% number were Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu, and
Rajasthan.
Karnataka.
But that's not, that's not, again, you're being economical. There are a number of BJP-ruled states also where inflation was well above 7%. But, let me for a moment, Sanju Verma, I don't want to fight with you, but, Sanju Verma makes the point, and she's right. Historically, the Congress has been a kind of party which has had a very uneasy relationship with regional parties and has brought down coalition governments set up by non-BJP, non-Congress party. But the truth also is, if we look at the last 8 years, as the BJP becomes the dominant party of the country, allies have increasingly been marginalized and either left it or been forced out. JDU in Bihar, Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, the Akalis in Punjab, the TDP also, which was used, and you could argue that Chandrababu Naidu left them, but he felt he wasn't getting his due. Historically, whichever is the dominant party at the center, allies find it difficult to work with. I think Sanju Verma has to realize the larger arc. Today, the BJP is the party that these smaller parties are afraid of. That they don't, that they get intimidated by.
I want to tell our viewers that this is just the sea voter snap poll on the political stock exchange. The big deal is the mood of the nation, which Yashwant and his team are carrying out at this time, which will be out next week. The big mood of the nation opinion poll, because what we look at in snap polls is on a relatively small sample size. You ask a few questions relating to the news of the time and you get responses. But who would win if elections were to be held today? Those responses are currently being processed. Yashwant, do you want to give our viewers a sneak peek of what to expect, or do you want them to wait till next week?
No, please wait for next week, because the number crunching is going on, and it's something which we have been doing it for so long for India today, and it's an institutionalized way of doing a trend line analysis, which is no other media house does it in that way. So we are really proud to be associated with that. And
I want to tell our viewers that it's very fascinating that the number of people, Rajdeep, who've pinged me either on WhatsApp or on social media saying, when is MOTN coming? When is Mood of the Nation coming? Because usually it comes around Independence weekend. It's delayed by a week this time round. But everybody is just very curious. What happened?
Because also, Rahul, I think what has happened, let's be also clear. If you looked at the early part of the year, the BJP was completely dominant. 2022 was a great year for the BJP electorally. Despite the slight setback in Himachal, the rest of the country, they were sweeping. Come 2023, they've lost Karnataka, and India alliance has come up. Manipur, Sanju Verma may not like it, but has been a debacle in terms of the BJP in perception. Northeast, an area where the BJP traditionally was seen to have done so much for. Manipur has again bust the double engine sort of theory. So the BJP also has reasons to worry about. I still believe, Sanju Verma will be happy to hear this, I still believe that the BJP is well ahead, has a clear advantage going into 2024. But things are changing in the last few months, which is why MOTN will be very interesting.
We haven't even put out the MOTN numbers and the fireworks between Rajdeep and Sanju Verma already in third gear. They'll be in fifth gear by next week, and it will be fascinating. So you can already see from the wry smiles on the face of Aishwarya Mahadev and Jasmine Shah, this will be an exciting week. We're processing the numbers. Please don't call or message Rajdeep or me beforehand. We can't do a sideshow and let you know what the numbers are. You will have to wait for the official broadcast of the Mood of the Nation here on India Today when we put out the numbers on who would win a general election if it were to be held today. So fascinating answers currently in the works. We're processing the data that's coming in from across the country. We'll have it out for you next week. So we're slipping into a break right now. When we come back, I'll have more for you. So stay with us on the news track. We're back in a moment. In politics, everyone has an opinion, but I have the data. Whose stock is rising? Whose graph is falling? Track India's political stock exchange. Unmatched, unmissable data analytics. The only show on News TV where numbers do the talking. India's most credible poll tracker. The Political Stock Exchange with Rahul Kanwal only on India Today.
We are very surprised at the hostility which this government shows towards education and educational institutions. They are so deeply influenced by WhatsApp University that they are out to undermine these seats of education, these temples of education. Whether it's Osmania University, Hyderabad University, whether it's JNU, whether it's this academy, whether it's Ashoka University, whether it's Aligarh Muslim University, Jamia, this government, the Modi government, is out to destroy our educational institutions.
क्या करें आप गरीबों के लिए? गरीबी हटाओ बोल के बोलते रहे, गरीबों को हटाए, गरीबी नहीं हटाए आप. लेकिन तेलंगाना में 10 साल में जो इंकलाब केसीआर साहब लेके आए, देश में कहीं और नहीं हुआ. तो क्यों जाना है कांग्रेस के साथ? क्यों वोट देना है कांग्रेस के साथ? क्यों देना है भाई कांग्रेस को वोट? कितने साल और मौका देते? नहीं थे क्या राज में? 62 इयर्स नहीं थे? तेलंगाना में भी थे 62 इयर्स. उनकी नानी थी, पप्पा थे, दादा थे, परदादा थे, सभी लोग थे. क्या हुआ? बदलाव आया? नहीं आया. फिर क्यों मौका देना है उनको?
A shocking sextortion racket has been busted in Bengaluru. The main accused, a Mumbai-based model, would lure men and then blackmail them. The victims were threatened with conversion and forced to pay lakhs of rupees.
In pursuit of a female sextortionist, Bengaluru police are currently searching for this woman, Neha, who also goes by the alias Meher. Originally from Maharashtra, this woman has been named in a complaint for allegedly blackmailing her victims. She allegedly targeted men through the Telegram messaging platform, lured them to her home, and orchestrated covert recordings of sexual encounters with the involvement of her male accomplices. This alleged criminal operation led by Neha, also known as Meher, has been active in Bengaluru for a year and a half. The men she allegedly ensnared were subsequently subject to blackmail. They were coerced into marriage, conversion to Islam, or extortion of funds. Failing non-compliant, they were threatened with the release of compromising videos on the internet. A case has now been registered in Bengaluru's Puttanhalli police station. Each of her victims reportedly succumbed to extortion demands. One of the complainants disclosed that he was coerced into giving her up to 60,000 rupees.
ಪುಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 2 ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ ಒಂದು FIR ದಾಖಲಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹನಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಕೇಸು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ 3 ಜನ ಆರೋಪಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೀವು ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ದುರ್ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮದೆಲ್ಲ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಈ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಂಡತಿಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ನೀವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ. ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಮಹಿಳೆ ಮೇಲೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರದು ವೈಫ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸುಮಾರು 50,000ಗಿಂತ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಅವರು ಪೇಟಿಎಂ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ.
According to detailed police report, Meher told the complainant that her husband worked in Dubai and that she was seeking a sexual partner. On March 3rd, 2023, around 3:30 p.m., the victim visited the accused's residence. 3 men appeared in the bedroom and filmed him in the sexual act. The complainant was threatened with being paraded naked in the streets, circumcised in a mosque, his nude pictures released, and married forcibly to Meher. As a part of coercion, he was held captive till 8 p.m. 21,500 rupees transferred from his account. The complainant later managed to escape. Her 3 accomplices, all from Karnataka, have been arrested. According to the police, the gang amassed over 35 lakh rupees from this extortion activities. Around 50 men are to be believed have fallen victim to this gang's manipulation and extortion. Yet the mastermind behind this operation remains at large. The primary suspect, Neha alias Meher, is suspected to be evading capture somewhere in Mumbai. Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where we wrap up the news track tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you 8 p.m. Monday evening. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye. Have a fabulous weekend.
We are short of water, we are not getting rainfall. And the Cauvery basin of Karnataka, they have not been provided with water, they have not been allowed to irrigate or to grow crops. Whatever was saved now has been completely given to Tamil Nadu. What way it is justice? See, justice is sharing between both the states. They have not given the state share. Our farmers are not being allowed to make use of the water. Only exclusive right to Tamil Nadu is not fair. Being an irrigation minister of the state of Karnataka, he has done complete injustice to the state of Karnataka.
There is a very serious allegation has been raised by former associate editor of Deshabhimani, the mouthpiece of CPM. Unfortunately, the CPM is keeping silence. Chief Minister is speaking silence. For last 6 months, the Chief Minister of Kerala is not speaking to the press or the people. I don't know what happened to him. This is a very serious allegation that money has been embezzled or taken by the Chief Minister as well as the Industries Minister. And I feel that a comprehensive inquiry is necessary to unearth the truth of this matter.
देखिए, पूरे देश के अंदर जिस तरह से भाजपा की केंद्र सरकार ने अपने एजेंसियों को दुरुपयोग करके जिस तरह का एक दहशत का माहौल बनाया हुआ है, उसमें हर कोई डरा हुआ है और उस डर का परिणाम ये दिख रहा है कि हर कोई अपने को बचाना चाहता है। मुझे लगता है कि कोई भी अगर ये बात कहता है कि पढ़े लिखे लोगों को वोट दें, तो अब ये पढ़े लिखे शब्द जो है ऐसा फील होने लगा है कि ये सत्ता विरोध का प्रतीक बनता जा रहा है और मुझे लगता है कि इंस्टीट्यूट इसी दहशत में आकर के निकालने का फैसला लिया होगा, क्योंकि ये संभव है कि जिस इंस्टीट्यूट के टीचर ने ये कहा कल सीबीआई और ईडी पहुंच जाए और उस इंस्टीट्यूट को तबाह कर दे, तो एक दहशत का जो माहौल है, मुझे लगता है उसका परिणाम इस घटना में दिख रहा है। धीरे धीरे लग रहा है कि सरकार ऐसे मान बैठी है कि ये उसके खिलाफ यूज किया जा रहा है।
Is the criteria for the prime minister to be that he should be illiterate, then he can become the prime minister? That he should not have no vision except how the Gaurakshaks should lynch people in the name of Shri Ram? Is that the vision? I think Rahul Gandhi definitely has a much better vision for this country than these Gaurakshaks and other people that are ruling the country at this point of time. So I think he's educated, very well educated. He has knowledge about everything. I had a very brief interaction with him, and he could talk on all topics. And secondly, he does not seem to be bothered whether he becomes the prime minister or not. What is keeping him on his toes is how to save the idea of India for which Gandhi laid his life. His great-great-grandfather went to jail. His grandmother gave her life. His father gave his life. So I think that is his passion at this point of time. And I think what more do you need in a prime minister, if he has a passion to save the idea of India? That's much more important than even becoming the prime minister of this country.
Sorry.
मिले दिल मेरा तुम्हारा तो देश बने हमारा। यूपी के माफिया बुलडोजर से डर के मिट्टी में मिले, चैन की सब सांस लेके खुशियां झलके झलके मिले दिल मेरा तुम्हारा। मिट जाए दर्द घट जाए मरज, मुफ्त मिले सब क्या है हरज। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸੁਰ ਮਿਲੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜੋ ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
तुम्हार सुर हमार सुर खिला होता रहे जरूर।
मिले सुर जो हमरा तुम्हारा, बना रहे गठबंधन न्यारा। मामा का है एक ही नारा, रहे ना कोई मुसीबत का मारा।
अपना इंडिया जब चले तो पूरा भारत ही जुड़े, नफरतों की बात ना हो, प्यार हो हल्के हल्के।
मिले दिल मेरा तुम्हारा, मिले दिल मेरा तुम्हारा तो देश बने हमारा।
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist.
Co-presented by JK Tyre Ranger Series. Stay wild at heart. Co-powered by the new Kia Seltos, the badass reborn. Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com. Har family hogi insured.
Is academic freedom in this country under threat? That's going to be the big question at a time when from Ashoka University to the Unacademy online portal, questions are being raised over academic freedom and political opinion. Also our face-off tonight. Why is Jadavpur University near Kolkata burning? The political face-off tonight. And as Himachal suffers a week of unprecedented landslides, Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu will be among my guests tonight. All that and much more. It's an action-packed Friday night. Let's tell you the big headlines at 9. Stunning new images of the moon's lunar surface captured by Chandrayaan-3. The Vikram lander now just 112 kilometers away from the moon. 3 Kuki youths are killed in a fresh bout of violence in Manipur's Ukhrul district. Sources say mutilated bodies of the 3 youth found after heavy firing. After EdTech firm Unacademy sacks a teacher who criticized the newly introduced criminal code in parliament, opposition hits out, claims academic freedom under threat in India. Himachal Pradesh's death toll in the landslides mounts to at least 75 in the aftermath of the heavy rainfall. Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu's government declares the whole hill state as a natural calamity affected area. Calls for aid. UP Congress chief creates a stir, claiming Rahul Gandhi will contest 2024 elections from Amethi against Smriti Irani. Congress sources say no decision taken yet. Kota administration comes up with a bizarre solution for rising student suicides. Fixes fans with springs in PGs and hostels. Mob lynching horror in Rajasthan's Alwar. At least a dozen people thrashed 3 Muslim youth while gathering wood. 1 lynched while 2 others injured, 4 arrested so far. Protests in Bengal's Jadavpur University turn ugly. BJP demands NIA probe into the student's death over ragging. TMC alleges BJP workers entered campus, thrashed students. An ace Indian pacer Jasprit Bumrah makes a glorious comeback after nearly a year of injury, picks up 2 wickets in the very first over against Ireland. But right at the very top, more troubling news coming in from Manipur, where there's been a fresh bout of violence. 3 people have been killed after fresh firing in Manipur's Ukhrul district. It's a Naga-dominated area. Mutilated bodies of the 3 Kuki youth have been recovered from Ukhrul. This has been an area which has not seen violence, so this will be troubling to the authorities that even in Ukhrul now we are seeing violence, mutilated bodies of 3 Kuki youth. This, remember, comes only days after the Prime Minister had hoped for peace to return to Manipur, and there was talk that the situation was slowly limping back to normalcy. Amidst this, 3 people have been killed after fresh firing. Mutilated bodies of these 3 Kuki youth have been recovered. So that's the troubling news that's coming in at the moment from Manipur. Let's turn to the other story that's breaking this evening. Mob lynching horror once again in Rajasthan's Alwar. That's right, that's the troubling news again coming in. 3 Muslim youth have been thrashed, 1 killed and 2 injured. Rajasthan police have now arrested 4 people, 4 of the accused so far. Alwar was a region where you might remember that a cattle trader, Pehlu Khan, had been lynched a few years ago, and that had sparked off outrage. Now we've got an incident where 4 people have been arrested. We are told that at least 3 people were lynched by the mob, 3 Muslim youth lynched, 1 has been killed and 2 injured. So troubling news coming in. Listen into what the police have to say.
असल में कोई जुलूस नहीं था, मौका तस्दीक की कार्रवाई थी 26 तारीख को इसलिए मैंने कि हाँ दुकान पे एक फायरिंग की घटना हुई थी, उसका जो आरोपी था जिसने फायर किया था उससे मौका तस्दीक करवाने की कार्रवाई असली में हमने की है। दूसरा एक आरोपी और है जिसने मोटरसाइकिल चुराई थी, उससे भी मौका तस्दीक की कार्रवाई करवाई है।
Let me go straight across to Jai Kishan Sharma, a reporter joining us live from Jaipur. Jai Kishan, tell us what details you have. We are told that the FIR does not use the word, of course, mob lynching, but suggests that this was mob fury that has resulted in these 3 people being attacked, one of them killed.
Rajdeep, what information we are getting from our police sources is that this incident is of yesterday night. Now, there are 2 sides to the coin. As per the complainant, what he has mentioned in the FIR, the father of the victim, there the victim is Wasim. He, along with his 2 friends, was in Harsoda police station area, the forest area, where they were chopping off wood from trees. But the locals informed the police and the forest department. So here the forest department came along with the local villagers and they crashed the trio so badly that one of the victims was seen succumb to the injuries today, and 2 are undergoing treatment. So the family members of victim are claiming that the Wasim has been lynched, while the police has different story to narrate. They said that there were allegations that they were smuggling trees, they were cutting it illegally, after which the team of forest reached, but so far 10 people have been detained, out of which 4 forest department officials have been arrested. This is the latest update what Behrod police has been given to us. But after Rakbar, after Pehlu Khan,
right,
again Alwar is in the hotlight for bad reasons. Here there have been on repeated basis there have been incidents of lynching. Here also the family members are demanding justice, that it was a group,
right,
it was a mob. Why they have taken law and order in their hands? On the other hand, police has claiming that they have immediately acted upon the complaint and they have arrested 4 government employees in this case, and rest are rounded up half a dozen people.
Okay, those are important details that you're giving us. You're saying this could be linked to, is being linked to forest smuggling that may have taken place. Government employees also under the scanner. We'll wait for more details to come out. Appreciate your joining us there, Jai Kishan. Thanks very much. From there, let's turn to one of our top focus tonight. Another edtech firm, Unacademy, has courted wide controversy for firing a teacher after a video of the teacher criticizing the government's newly introduced criminal code went viral. The teacher is urging the students in that video to vote wisely in the future. The opposition has called this a move a threat to academic freedom. It comes at a time when another prestigious academic institution, in this case Ashoka University, also finds itself under the scanner for a professor resigning after he put out a controversial research paper. Are personal political opinions not allowed in our classrooms or in research papers? That's our top talking point.
अगली बार जब भी अपना वोट दो, किसी पढ़े लिखे इंसान को अपना वोट देना, ताकि ये सब कुछ दोबारा जीवन में ना झेलना पड़े.
This viral video of Karan Sangwan, a faculty member of Unacademy, has cost him his job.
सिर्फ ऐसे इंसान को ना चुने जिनको सिर्फ बदलना आता हो, नाम चेंज करना आता हो, है ना?
The edutech firm sacked Sangwan after facing an online backlash by alleged supporters of the BJP over his criticism of newly introduced criminal code in parliament. Unacademy, in a statement, defended its action, saying Sangwan had breached the code of conduct. Now opposition parties have joined the issue.
मुझे लगता है कि कोई भी अगर ये बात कहता है कि पढ़े लिखे लोगों को वोट दें, तो अब ये पढ़े लिखे शब्द जो है ऐसा फील होने लगा है कि ये सत्ता विरोध का प्रतीक बनता जा रहा है. धीरे धीरे लग रहा है कि सरकार ऐसे मान बैठी है कि ये उसके खिलाफ यूज किया जा रहा है.
Meanwhile, another controversy is raging in the academic world. Ashoka University's assistant professor Sabyasachi Das resigned after the institution distanced itself from his controversial research paper, Democratic Backsliding in the World's Largest Democracy. In this research paper, Das has argued the BJP won a disproportionate share of closely contested parliamentary seats in 2019 Lok Sabha polls. While another professor has quit Ashoka, many others have warned of a faculty exodus. In another incident, the Indian Institution of Sciences in Bengaluru blocked human rights activist Teesta Setalwad from giving a lecture at a pre-decided venue. The opposition is alleging that academic freedom is increasingly coming under threat.
We are very surprised at the hostility which this government shows towards education and educational institutions. They are so deeply influenced by WhatsApp University that they are out to undermine these seats of education, these temples of education. The Modi government is out to destroy our educational institutions.
The opposition parties such as DMK, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are claiming that the BJP has unleashed reign of terror, because of which an ed-tech firm did not even stand up with a faculty member who appealed his students to vote for literate representatives. And the opposition parties are claiming that the academic freedom on the campuses are reducing with every passing day. With video journalist Mridul Mohan, this is Amit Bhardwaj reporting for India Today from Delhi.
Okay, let's go first to the newsmaker of the moment. Karan Sangwan is the teacher who's been sacked. Appreciate your joining us, Karan, to give your side of the story. Do you accept the view of Unacademy that a teacher cannot air political opinions during a classroom? That's the accusation against you when you said in that video, elect someone who's educated, understands things, don't elect someone who only knows how to change names. Make your decision, and this was said in the context of the Criminal Procedure Code changes made by the Modi government. So the accusation is you were targeting the Modi government, calling the government unpad.
Sir, first of all, thank you for connecting me. Another thing is, sir, the intent behind that particular statement is not regarding any kind of a controversy. That particular statement is given by me regarding the quality of education, or a student must approach towards a best quality of education. That is the concept, that is the context of the statement. But that statement is portrayed in a wrong way. That statement is interpreted in a wrong way against the government itself. That is the impact of social media, जिन्होंने negatively उस चीज को वहाँ पे cast करने का काम किया. And the statement is not a political in its nature in itself. And the another thing is, that is not a classroom of Unacademy. That video or that statement is given on my YouTube channel, that is Legal Pathshala, now renamed as Karan Sangwan. That is not the platform of Unacademy, sir.
No, but let's look at two parts. You are saying that your statement has been taken out of context. The fact is, I saw the video. You are talking, Karan, about new laws replacing IPC, CRPC and the Evidence Act. So when you make this statement that don't elect someone who only knows how to change names, people will naturally see it that you are referring to the Modi government and Home Minister Amit Shah. Are you telling me that there was absolutely no political message in your statement? And are you not trying to influence the opinion of those young students by saying, don't vote for those who have brought in simply this name change in the new laws?
Yes, I'm not trying to influence any of my students. That particular statement is given only in context of education. I am teaching something to my students, or after summing up that particular topic, I generally give a statement with that particular intent, which I have already told you.
But then how do you respond to how Unacademy, the online portal, reacted? The manner in which they asked you to resign straight away? Did Unacademy give you at all a chance to respond, to explain your statement, or did they say overnight, Karan, this viral video is unacceptable, breach of code of conduct, you are airing political opinions, you have to go? Is that true?
Yes, I get a chance to explain my statement, and I explained that particular statement in my reply to their notice.
But what did Unacademy say? Unacademy ka jawab kya tha?
I clearly mentioned that particular statement is not a political statement in its nature, and I am denying each and everything. Jo bhi you have cast allegations against me, and after that, they in their termination notice, they said your response is unsatisfactory and we are terminating you.
So they said that they're terminating you. One last question. What is the lesson of, in a sense, for you? Do you believe that teachers have to be very careful now in this age of social media, even in your personal videos? Or do you believe academic freedom is being compromised? That as a teacher, you have the right to tell your students whatever you feel is the best way to communicate to them?
See, I, as a teacher, have some responsibilities, have some obligations to impart a best quality education, to aware my learners in a best possible way for their best future. And this particular statement is part of this context, this purpose. Because I have learned in my school days, there are so many teachers who teaches me, they always told me, you have to learn something that is very important to survive in a society, that is important for a betterment of the society. And they always push a student to get more educated. जब आप पढ़े लिखे होगे, so you have some kind of analytical thinkings. You can analyze the things. आप समझ सकते हो, अच्छे से analyze कर सकते हो, and you can go with the right or the wrong. This is the context of that particular statement, and that particular statement is only for my students and only for the purpose of education. That is not a political statement, not a political propaganda, and I'm not specifying a name of a particular person, a name of a particular political party. No.
So do you think that in some way social media has then been used against you to target you, that because of that, an academy maybe succumbed to social media pressure and asked you to resign? Are you blaming social media for what happened?
Maybe it is the reason, because there are so many persons on social media. They can interpret my statement in a way that we want to understand.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Karan Sangwan, who was speaking to me earlier, trying to defend his position, saying he was not airing a political opinion. Let's raise the big question, because it's not just Karan Sangwan. We told you about Ashoka University, also the Indian Institute of Science. Activist Teesta Setalvad was denied entry to make a speech. Eventually, the faculty had to intervene. Big question, is academic freedom under threat in universities and education institutes? Is there space for anti-government dissent in universities? Are academics free to air their political opinions? Just some of the questions we'll raise. I'm joined by Pulapre Balakrishnan. He's an academician. He's also been associated with Ashoka University. Praveen Chakravarti is a political economist. He's associated with the Congress party. We should super him as head of the Congress's data analytics cell. So I'll tell my producer to do that. And Mohandas Pai is chairman Areen Capital and Manipur Global Education. Appreciate your joining us, sir. I want to come to you, Mr. Balakrishnan, because you, in a way, I know you don't want to speak about the specific instance in Ashoka, but the wider question. Do you believe academics have the freedom to do research papers like a professor, young professor did in Ashoka, but found himself tangled in political controversy when he suggested that maybe some part of the 2019 poll was manipulated? Do you believe that Ashoka University or any university must give space to academics to air their views? Or do you believe there are codes of conduct for anyone, whether an academy, Ashoka or anywhere?
So long as a work does not involve defamation or hate speech and is purely intellectual in the sense of involved with the production of knowledge, I think it is admissible. For academic work, there is a standard procedure. People write papers, and if they want it published, they try to get it peer-reviewed. If it succeeds, you have to take the paper with a certain degree of confidence. If it doesn't find its way to a peer-reviewed journal, then the author is in some trouble. Or at least his argument doesn't go through.
No, so are you saying that if I am an academic, I write a research paper, as happened in the case of Ashoka, that paper then becomes tangled in political controversy because it is raising vexed political issues. If the academic cannot successfully defend his paper, is the university well within its rights to accuse him of partisanship or of not being, of his paper not being academically rigorous enough and ask him to leave? Or do you believe this should be part of healthy debate within campuses?
Absolutely. The last, let me just tell you, nobody has been asked to leave in the specific case that you are referring to. But yes, there should be healthy debate. These are issues related to the economy and the polity, and they should be discussed.
No, you're saying no one been asked to leave, but the individual concerned, Professor Das, has, we are told, quit the university, and many of the academics have protested against it, saying it's a violation of academic freedom. That you've got a research paper, allow the research paper to be discussed before you take any action. And why should you act on a research paper in the first instance?
Let me mention to you that first and foremost, that when I came on your show, I said that I'm coming here in my personal capacity as an economist and an academician. So please, I would request you to change the way you present my profile. I'm here only in my personal capacity. I want to emphasize that.
Okay.
So once again, the standard practice is people write papers. They are peer reviewed. They are published in some cases. When they are not peer reviewed and they don't succeed in finding publication, then you decide that the individual has tried to fly a kite and it hasn't succeeded.
Right. The reason, Praveen Chakravarti, one of the reasons you're on the show is because you wrote an opinion piece today suggesting that you see this as those on governing boards of universities not being able to understand what a liberal arts campus is all about, where you allow a free flow of ideas, that the men in the suits do not seem to understand how the boots of teachers actually work. Now, India is not an American campus. Let's be honest, America's liberal campuses are very different from Indian liberal campuses. And Ashoka University is based in Haryana, BJP ruled. An Academy is an online edu-tech site, but it is living in a world very different from what is in the United States. So are we trying to impose American standards of academic freedom in India?
Good evening. See, the first thing I want to clarify is the fact that we are discussing Ashoka University today tells us that it has become an institute of national importance and national pride. So we must give kudos to the founders and the management for having built such a credible institution in a short span of time. So they deserve that credit. Now, what I said in my piece today was this is actually a clash of ethos and purpose between the suits that fund the university and the boots that run it, which is the faculty and the students. And the argument that I was making was, in this particular case, as someone who understands a little bit of data and elections and have followed the 2019 elections, I can tell you the paper in question was hyperbolic in its findings, in its title. I mean, and I think had it been subjected to the natural process of the academic credibility market, the paper would have been called out on its own. By intervening, the governing body and the management distorted the entire debate and the narrative. And they intervened, perhaps because of political pressure, perhaps because they were bullied. And that is where I was trying to make the argument. Listen, it does not work like a corporate. The liberal arts universities, for them, the daily ritual is to say some things radical, is to put out opinions, is to clash. And the thought market decides it, as long as it does not disturb social peace and harmony. So in that context, why should the governing body intervene? And because they did that, we're having this discussion today because it has erupted into a big controversy.
You're speculating, of course, at the moment. There is no hard proof that they've been bullied. We don't know that. But while you're smiling, Mohandas Pai, the implication certainly will be that. Just a minute. The implication, whether it's in an academy or in an Ashoka or indeed in your own state, the Indian Institute of Science, Teesta Settle was disallowed from entering the gates to address the students.
Radev, please, let us not exaggerate these events to be an assault on economic freedom.
On academic freedom.
Professor spoke very clearly and said, look, a paper has to be peer reviewed, then only it gets credibility, other they'll be flying a kite. I agree with the professor. In this case, this gentleman has not got the paper peer reviewed. He's put it up on social media. He has used the university's name. The university has said very clearly that he should have got it peer reviewed, used the university's name, and that is wrong. So what is the big deal? Professor says is correct. He's not peer reviewed. Now, if he wants to put up a paper in his individual name, that is fine. He used the university name. Like the professor told you now, don't use the university name.
No, Praveen Chakravarti is saying that this is the part of the problem is corporates who run these private universities or indeed corporates who run edutech portals like Unacademy are under pressure. They want to toe the government line.
Look, Praveen is playing politics. That's total rubbish. If you look at who is the...
We know what you play every day.
No, Praveen, let him complete. I'll come back to you.
Look at who is the chancellor, who is the vice chancellor. They're all part of the managing committee. They're very reputed people. They've also agreed to this. They're given a university statement. And in case of that Unacademy, I mean, obviously, that person has made some comments. Obviously, Unacademy feels is outside the context and taken whatever action. The code of conduct. No, he disputes the code of conduct. He disputes it, but the company does not agree. He can take it to court wherever it is. There's no assault on anybody. Let's not exaggerate. There are 16 lakh faculty in colleges in this country. These incidents are going to happen once in a way. It doesn't mean the entire thing. Let me tell you, for all this ISC talk, in JNU, they shut out so many people from coming. General Bakshi was not allowed to come. Many people are not allowed to come. I don't think you stood up for academic freedom.
No, I stand up for campuses being spaces where we will hear General Bakshi and a Teesta Setalwad. We should hear both.
Teesta Setalwad is a controversial figure. If the university feels that it's not conducive, the university has a right. It is between the university and the faculty. Let them decide what is there. Many people have been shut out.
You know
that happen regularly.
Yeah, they shouldn't happen. They shouldn't happen. Just because they've happened in the past, they shouldn't happen. But let Mr. Balakrishnan wanted to intervene while you were speaking, Mr. Pai. Yes, Mr. Balakrishnan.
Thank you very much, Rajiv. I just want to say that the issue whether papers are peer-reviewed or not is not the question. The point, the merits of the paper is not for a university to decide. And therefore, I would say that actually faculty should be given, as a norm, unconditional freedom to say what they think is correct on the basis of their research. And it is clearly pressure from government which is making private and public institutions in general, all the instances you gave, from the Indian Institute of Science to a private institution, are all instances where these institutions are under pressure from government.
You know, those are strong words. Let's cut the chase. The truth of the matter is institutions, particularly in this case, of course, private institutions, but even government-funded institutions, academics don't have the kind of freedom that they have in the United States.
Yes.
Why,
tell me, Radhi.
Should we aspire to greater freedom?
Radhi, tell me, in the social science area across India, for the last 40 years, it has been captured by the left. They shut out everybody else. Only one stream of thought is allowed. There's no clash of ideas. Has there ever been academic freedom fully in this country when the left was ruling?
So that's whataboutery. Mr. Pai, that's whataboutery because that happened in the 70s and 80s. We are going to do the same.
I'm giving you data. We don't have the academic freedom that America has. That is data.
Yes.
And that is the truth. All right? Our universities have been vitiated by ideology for far too long without being open system. Look at the vision of Jawaharlal Nehru when he set up JNU and look at what happens there today. We have to clean it up. We have to have academic freedom for everybody, subject to agreed norms. Let us have a code of conduct. They should have full freedom to publish. If they have to publish in a particular way, they have to follow. They should not release to social media and start a debate. Then they can do it in their own name and not use the university name. Nobody prevents anybody like professor coming and saying, I'm an individual, this is my view. Don't associate with any university. That is perfectly right. It's perfectly right. Once you say you're a professor, follow a protocol, agree norms, don't do it otherwise. That's all.
Okay, can I get Praveen to respond? Praveen, is that the way you see it, that this should be about norms? Let there be a clear code of conduct. No one can violate it.
First, Rajdeep, the question is, why should we not aspire to be among the best in the world? I mean, if you ask the Ashoka University management, the governing body today, they will absolutely tell you that we want to be one of the best in the world. So what is this rubbish that, no, we don't have academic freedom like the West, and so we should never have, and so in the last 30 years...
Praveen, stop lying, man. We never said never have and all that. Stop lying.
So all that is, we must, if we want to aspire to be... If we want to aspire to be the best,
no, let's not use words like lying and all. Let's listen to each other.
No, we must have.
Radhip, please tell him to stop lying, Radhip. He's putting words in my mouth which I never said.
Academic freedom means the freedom to air whatever they say, not subject to some rules of that the corporate suits are laying out here, saying you have to do have it peer reviewed and all of that. That is not how the academic
peer reviewed professor said, Radhip.
No, but Praveen, the argument I think that Mohandas Pai made is that for a long time, when the left dominated in a way campuses, they didn't allow other views to be expressed. Now, Rajdeep, there's a balance being sought.
So we can argue till the cows come home whether what happened the last 30 years or 40 years was right or wrong, or should there be correction now and all that. That is not the point. The point is Ashoka University wants to be the best in the world. The best liberal arts universities allowed for absolute freedom, subject to a broad condition of social peace and harmony. That did not happen in this case. There is no academic freedom in this country.
Okay, final words to all of you. Mohandas Pai, quick response to what you heard from Praveen.
Radhip, every university has a code of conduct and a protocol for publishing research, which carries the university's association. You have to follow that. When you join the university, you subscribe to that, you have to follow that. Okay. If you're in default, you have to pay the consequences. And I think that is something that you must respect. And if Ashoka University has that, he's been in contravention, he has to face it. Okay. I mean, you are not a free agent to do whatever you want, publish whatever you want. It's the protocol. Agree to the protocol.
Mr. Balakrishnan, Professor, do you believe there should be a protocol, a clearer protocol than exists at the moment across universities in this country? What is acceptable, what is not? Can you delve into politics and expect not to get a backlash?
It's not so much a matter of a code of conduct as much as a norm. And the norm is that you refrain from hate speech or defamation, but subject to that, you should have unconditional freedom to comment on the economy, the polity, or society.
Okay.
And if your work finds the respect of your peers, everybody, the government and the university leadership should accept it.
Okay. I think those are very fair. Good to have a debate on this issue. I hope we can widen it further in the days and weeks ahead. Academic freedom is critical to building a better society. Allow our campuses to hear all kinds of thoughts. Left, right, center. Let's hear all of them. Praveen Chakravarti, Mohandas Pai, Professor Balakrishnan, appreciate your joining us. Let's stick with what's happening in our universities, because Jadavpur University near Kolkata becoming a political battleground in the last few days after the shocking death of a student over alleged ragging. The ruling Trinamool Congress and BJP there caught in a heated blame game. Tensions escalating on university grounds after BJP leader Suvendu Adhikari's visit. The TMC has hit out at Mr. Adhikari, accusing him of creating a ruckus in the university, blaming BJP goons they claim for thrashing students at the campus. Both sides attacking each other. The tragedy, of course, is that there's been a tragic death due to ragging that's taken place in that university. Joining us now on our face-off at this moment, Priyanka Tibrewal is the BJP spokesperson. Riju Datta is... Riju Datta, appreciate your joining us. You tell us, Riju Datta, the TMC at the end of the day is responsible for what happens on the campuses. Law and order is a state subject. You're now blaming the BJP for bringing in goons into the campus. But it's your government. And the BJP says the campuses are being run by the Trinamool Congress unions.
No. There is a fundamental error in that, Rajdeep. The Jadavpur is an autonomous university and the law and order of the state. The state administration can only enter the Jadavpur University if the permission is given by the Vice Chancellor himself.
No, but law and order is a state subject. So, let's not quibble over that. At the end of the day, if there is ruckus and if there are protests and students are assaulted in Jadavpur University, the state government can't wash its hands off and say these are BJP goons who've entered.
No, we are not washing our hands of where the BJP stage was, where this ruckus happened. It was caused by the leader of opposition, Shubhendu Adhikari. Barely 100 meters from there, for last 2 days, even Trinamool Congress is doing a dharna pradarsan. There was no chaos. Basically, the problem is this. Shubhendu Adhikari, he is the leader of opposition, but we choose to call him the loser of opposition. On this very sensitive issue where a kid has died due to ragging, he wanted to get some political dividends, political mileage, and his main goal was to create chaos. So he went there. Some Jadavpur University students waved the black flag of him, and his convoy had CRPF jawans who started thrashing the students. Their visuals are there. And not only that, the BJP goons who were accompanying Shubhendu Adhikari started beating up the students. Among them was a transgender student. We opposed to that, and what we did today was, the police has taken charge and we have completely dismantled their dharna manch. We are very strict in this. We are saying it's a very sensitive issue. We will take law and order, but if you want to politicize the issue just by creating ruckus to get political dividends, we will not allow it in Bengal.
Let me bring in Priyanka Tibrewal. Priyanka Tibrewal, what is being suggested by Riju Datta is that the BJP is politicizing the tragic death of a student to target the Mamata Banerjee government, therefore using Jadavpur University now to settle political scores. How do you blame the Mamata Banerjee government for what happens in a university campus, an autonomous university campus?
See, nobody is blaming anyone, but you see that who was the government in power from 2011 till 2023? Law and order, administration, everything is in the hand of this government. Thereafter, we have heard Mamata Banerjee saying a few days back that she is scared to enter the Jadavpur University. Is Jadavpur University not a part of West Bengal? Why is she scared? If such is the situation and scenario, then she should be ashamed being a Chief Minister of West Bengal. See, this is not the first time that any incidents like this have come on light under the Jadavpur University. It is only in 2019, if I'm not so wrong, the governor of West Bengal, the then governor, Jagdeep Dhankar, he was, shown black flags, and not only that, his convoy was surrounded and he was not allowed to move out. And if I so believe, their leader of Trinamool and their Mantri, Babul Supriyo, he was, caught in that college and he was not allowed to move. The governor rather went and tried to bring him out of the college. Then why didn't the same government say anything? Now they are saying, they are giving all the blames to CPM, and they are saying, that DSF, WTI, FAST, these are the people who are responsible for any kind of wrong doings or happenings, whatever is happening in Jadavpur University. But let me tell you, there are many such leaders who are now in their party. And, Mamata Banerjee has given them tickets to Rajya Sabha. Now she's saying they're Naxalites, they are terrorists. Has she not given places to such Naxalites in her own government?
One minute.
What about who is he?
1 minute. Yes, Riju Datta has a question for you. Go ahead, Riju.
On this particular issue, the BJP, the Trinamool Congress, we all want justice for this child. But the question is, when the BJP says the Trinamool Congress has given member of parliament tickets to Naxalites, I challenge Priyanka Tibrewal to name such parliamentarian. See, the bottom line is this, Rajdeep. Even now, as we speak live on your debate, the extreme left and the left organizations have blocked a four-corner street in the middle of Calcutta where even ambulances have been stopped. And these extreme left and left students, a gang of 300 people are sitting on the road. Do you think the police cannot lathi charge them?
What do you mean by left?
Can I finish?
The old left, the new left.
Can I finish?
You have to give places to the old left, to the people of WTI.
No, 1 minute. At the end of the day, Riju, I repeated, law and order is a state subject. If the situation is going out of control on the campus, the West Bengal government cannot wash its hands off and engage in a blame game. At the same time, Priyanka Tibrewal, the BJP also cannot have its leaders walking into the campus suddenly, and using this entire incident to try and target the Mamata Banerjee government rather than showing sympathy for the student. The problem is there's no empathy for the student who's died in a horrific ragging incident.
Rajdeep ji, we do not need to target any government or the chief minister for that matter. As an opposition, what is our role and what we should do is, we have to be the voice of the people here in West Bengal, those who are being targeted, and students like this. It is a matter of shame that now their ministers are going. She's sending the students wing to the college. What happened? Were you not aware? You tell me. They say that they don't allow us to put cameras inside the college and the campus. If you being a government, if you do not have that kind of control in a place, in a college which is very much part of West Bengal, then what is your administration supposed to do?
Okay, Riju Datta,
you have to answer these questions.
Riju Datta, final word to you.
That he wants me to challenge him.
Okay, Riju Datta, final word.
Whether WTI ex-leaders are the office bearers of Trinamool.
Okay, whoever these student leaders' political affiliations are, buck will stop with you in West Bengal because yours is the government in power.
The governor is in charge of the Jadavpur administration. We request him to give the free hand to the administration. The administration has been forced by the Trinamool ruling government, and they have given a declaration that they will install CCTVs and issue ID cards. I will request Subhendu Adhikari, who's caught live on camera, abusing Kolkata police officers in uniform as son of a swine. That is the leader of opposition, the video that you are showing now, Rajdeep.
Right.
So the loser of opposition should not try to get
the government is so powerful.
Okay, time out. We can, the fact is, as I said, there's been a tragic death due to ragging. Sometimes there are occasions where political parties need to rise above their partisan interests and reach out to those who've suffered. Students are getting caught in a political tug-of-war in Jadavpur. These are very unfortunate scenes in a university campus. Riju Datta, Priyanka Tibrewal, I appreciate both of you joining me here on the news today. Let's turn from there to our ground report tonight, which comes from Kota. IIT's coaching hub, Kota, finds itself in controversy again. This time over a bizarre solution being offered by the administration there to curb the spate of student suicides. The Kota district administration has fixed fans with springs in the postgraduate and hostels. But is this really the solution to save the students of Kota? Remember, the coaching hub has witnessed at least 22 suicides in this year alone. Take a look.
Seven suicides in 2017, 20 suicides in 2018, 18 suicides in 2019, 15 suicides in 2022, 22 suicides in 2023. Kota, a coaching hub in Rajasthan, the capital of student coaching in the country, continues to witness a distressing trend of student suicides. In response to a recent spate of suicides in Kota, the administration has come up with a unique and bizarre way to curb cases of deaths by suicide among students. The solution is the installation of a spring-loaded fan in hostels and paying guest facilities.
बेंगलोर की एक कंपनी आई थी हमारे पास इस चीज़ को लेकर कि कोटा में कुछ आत्महत्याएं बढ़ी हैं, तो उसको लेकर उन लोगों ने हमको डेमो दिया था कोटा शहर में आके। हॉस्टल जो हमारे क्षेत्र में आते हैं, कोटा क्षेत्र में, उसकी तो हम लोग गाइडलाइन की पालना 90 से 95% हम लोग करवा चुके हैं और उसको लगवा भी चुके हैं इसको।
Springs in these ceiling fans are designed to uncoil the moment it detects a load, effectively detaching the fan from the ceiling and preventing hangings. But the idea didn't go down well with people, as they believe that it would have been better if the institutes worked towards providing a healthy environment to ensure students do not take such drastic steps. But the burning question is this the best that the Gehlot government can do for students? Bureau Report here today.
Okay, we've got lots of news ahead. Let's turn to our next story. Himachal Pradesh limping today to the road of recovery after bearing a week of incessant rains and massive landslides. Today, the Chief Minister declared that this is a natural calamity. He's asked for help from different states. The death toll in the hill state has mounted to at least 75. Rescue and relief operations continuing in several areas. The Himachal Pradesh administration says it's hoping the centre too will declare this a national calamity. Well, a short while ago I spoke to the man of the moment. Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu is the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, and I began by asking him, सुकू जी, क्या आप इसे पूरी तरह से एक नेचुरल डिजास्टर मान रहे हैं जो हिमाचल में हुआ? पहली तो आप और आपके सभी हिमाचल के लोगों को हमारी तरफ से प्रार्थनाएं जो हुआ है, लेकिन मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं सर, क्या ये नेचुरल डिजास्टर मानते हैं या कहीं ना कहीं ये मैनमेड था सर? जिस तरह से शिमला में लैंडस्लाइड्स हुए हैं, जिस तरह से कंस्ट्रक्शन बन रहा था, रोड वाइडनिंग हो रही थी, दिस वाज अ डिजास्टर वेटिंग टू हैपन। आपने माउंटेन्स, आपके प्राइड ऑफ हिमाचल को खत्म कर दिया है, वहां की जो पहाड़ियां हैं उनको खत्म कर दिया है, एक मैन मेड डिजास्टर है, ये आपके क्रिटिक्स कह रहे हैं।
देखिए, इसको दो तीन चीजों से समझना पड़ेगा। पहली बात है कि क्लाइमेट चेंज का भी असर है। अप्रैल महीने से कंटिन्यूटी में बारिश हो रही है, और जब बारिश हो रही है तो जो पानी है वो पहाड़ों से ही रिसकर नालों के पास जाता है। और पिछले 7 जुलाई से 11 जुलाई तक और 13 अगस्त से 17 अगस्त तक इसमें जो तबाही हुई है वो 7 जुलाई से 11 जुलाई से भी ज्यादा तबाही 13 से 16 अगस्त में हुई। अब जो पीछे का कारण है, पहले तो क्लाइमेट चेंज में लाहौल स्पीति में कभी बारिश नहीं होती थी, वहां तो रेत के टीले है, शीत मरुस्थल है वो, तो उसमें बारिश हो रही है, और जो बारिश हो रही है तो इसका मतलब क्लाइमेट चेंज है। दूसरा ये है कि पानी अपनी जगह ढूंढता है पहाड़ में। पहाड़ का पानी नीचे स्लोप की तरफ जाता है, तो जब स्लोप की तरफ जाता है और कोई पेड़ एक अपरूट होता है तो उसके साथ काफी पेड़ भी अपरूट हो जाते हैं। हुआ क्या, शिमला में जो मेरा समझ है और मैं मानता हूं कि जो ड्रेनेज सिस्टम है और जो नाले चौक हो गए, पानी को जगह नहीं मिली तो पानी ने जगह बनाई, और जब पानी ने अपनी जगह बनाई तो जब वो तेज बारिश हुई, मिट्टी पहले ही गिरी थी, स्लैश इतना ज्यादा आ गया और पेड़ों को अपरूट करके जो नीचे नाले के साथ बिल्डिंग थी उसको फाड़ कर ले गया। शिव मंदिर टेम्पल में ऐसा ही हुआ, और वहाँ हमारे कम से कम 20 से 25 लोगों में से 12 की हमने शव निकाल दिया, और कुछ और लोग फंसे होने का कारण। ड्रेनेज सिस्टम में क्या है कि अपने घर के पास तो उन्होंने बना लिया सारा।
जी कंटिन्यू सर।
और घर के पास सारा जाए, दूसरे वाले ने तीसरे के कर दिया। पानी ने तो रास्ता लेना ही है, चाहे वो किचन का पानी है चाहे किसी और का है, तो पानी जब रास्ता लेता तो ड्रेनेज सिस्टम में भी हमारा मैन मेड फेलियर था, वो हमें नियमों में तय करना था।
सर आप मान रहे हैं एक तरह से कि ड्रेनेज सिस्टम जो था शिमला का कमजोर हुआ है, ये मैन मेड है। जो आप कह रहे हैं बिल्कुल सही है, कई लोग ये कहते हैं, लेकिन मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं, आपने कुछ दिनों पहले बिहार आर्किटेक्ट्स को दोषी ठहराया कि जिस तरह से ये कंस्ट्रक्शन हुआ हिमाचल में, उसको बिहार आर्किटेक्ट्स को दोषी ठहराया। इस पर काफी पॉलिटिकल बवाल हुआ है। ये तो आप मान रहे हैं एक तरह से कि जब अंग्रेज हुआ करते थे, व्हेन शिमला वाज रूल्ड बाय द ब्रिटिश, तब तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं था। आज की तारीख में कंस्ट्रक्शन जिस तरह से हो रहे हैं, स्ट्रक्चरल इंजीनियर्स को आप दोषी ठहराएंगे, अनरेगुलेटेड को दोषी ठहराएंगे, बिहार आर्किटेक्ट्स को आप ब्लेम करेंगे, किसको आप दोष दे रहे हैं? सवाल यह है, विल देयर बी अकाउंटेबिलिटी जब इस तरह के स्ट्रक्चर्स बन रहे हैं विच आर लीडिंग टू दिस डेथ एंड डिस्ट्रक्शन? सर
देखिए, पहली बात तो है कि बिहार आर्किटेक्ट की बात मुझे समझ ही नहीं आई, कहां से आई? पहले तो ये मुझे बताइए,
सर ये
आई कहां से?
सर ये आप ही के नाम पर कहा गया कि आपने बिहार आर्किटेक्ट्स को दोषी ठहराया।
देखिए, मैंने कहीं नहीं कहा, और मैंने एक इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में पढ़ा, मेरे को तो ये भी नहीं पता था कि वो ऐसे लगाएंगे। मेरा कहने का मतलब है, मैंने कहीं नहीं कहा कि बिहार आर्किटेक्ट है। देखिए,
लेकिन फिर आप किसको दोषी ठहरा रहे हैं जब आप आज कह रहे हैं कि ये क्या है कि अंग्रेजों के जमाने में हिमाचल में ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं थे?
और एक इंटरव्यू के बाद आप मुझे पूछोगे कि जब इंटरव्यू खत्म हो जाएगा तो मेरे से आप चर्चा में कोई बात लाएंगे, तो उस बात को वो मतलब नहीं है कि मैं उसको कह रहा हूँ। तो रीजंस है, कई चर्चा में कई बातें आती है जिसमें आप रिप्लाई करते हैं, हम रिप्लाई करते हैं, उसको हम इंटरव्यू का पार्ट नहीं मान सकते। तो हमने कभी बिहार आर्किटेक्ट नहीं कहा।
सर आप फिर किसको?
बिहार आर्किटेक्ट कहां से आ जाएंगे हिमाचल प्रदेश में? हमारे आर्किटेक्ट है, हिल आर्किटेक्ट है।
सर इसीलिए मैं पूछ रहा हूं, जो एनवायरनमेंट को नुकसान हुआ है, एनवायरनमेंट रूल्स अमल नहीं हुए हैं, इसके लिए किसको दोषी ठहराते हैं?
देखिए मैं किसी को दोषी नहीं ठहराता, परिस्थितियां दोषी है। इतनी ज्यादा बारिश होगी कि कभी किसी ने आशा ही नहीं की थी, और उस बारिश से हमें सबक सीखना है कि क्या कमी है। हमने उसमें सबक पहले ही किया है। जितने 4 लेन है, मैंने सरकार बनने के बाद सबसे पहला फैसला किया कि 4 लेन के इर्द गिर्द जो भी कंस्ट्रक्शन होगी वो टाउन एंड कंट्री प्लानिंग के थ्रू रेगुलेट होगी। किसी ने भी अपना मैप बनाना, आउटर बनाना है। अब ये स्थिति पैदा हुई है। इस स्थिति में मैंने खुद घूम कर पाया, तो मैं वो बयान आपके सामने कर रहा हूँ कि ड्रेनेज नहीं है, नाले चौक जो नाले हैं
जी,
वो घरों में नहीं गए, घर नाले में चले गए। तो इसलिए उन चीजों को हमने पाया। अब हम उन चीजों को कह रहे कि नालों को चौक नहीं करना है। शिमला में नाले चौक हुए हैं, पानी अपना रास्ता ढूंढेगा। तो इसलिए अब उसको हमने भांपा है और उसमें हम काम कर रहे हैं।
सो व्हाट इज द बिग लेसन? लेकिन सबक क्या सीखा आपने सर? क्या एक नया प्लान अब होगा? ऑल कंस्ट्रक्शंस अलोंग द माउंटेन साइड, जो पहाड़ियों में कंस्ट्रक्शंस होते हैं, ये क्या नया प्लान इसके लिए बनेगा? नहीं तो जैसे मैंने कहा, त्रासदी जिस तरह से हुई है और हिमाचल को इससे उभरने के लिए काफी समय लगेगा, बट विल वी हैव अ न्यू प्लान नाउ फॉर माउंटेन कंस्ट्रक्शन सर?
अब मैं 2-3 चीजें आपके ध्यान में लाना चाहता हूँ। जो कांगड़ा में बाढ़ आई है, वो बीबीएमबी भाखड़ा ब्यास मैनेजमेंट बोर्ड ने अपने डैम से पानी छोड़ा। 50 क्यूसिक मीटर पानी छोड़ना था, 1.5 लाख छोड़ दिया। उस नदी ने अपना रुख बदल लिया। अभी हमारे जो इंदौर और फतेहपुर विधानसभा, उसको नुकसान पहुंचाया, अब पंजाब में नुकसान पहुंचाएगा। ये सब चीजें सोचने वाली है। शिमला की लैंडस्लाइड्स को हम बोलते हैं रेगुलेट नहीं हम कर रहे, एक चीज है, लेकिन प्लेन में तो रेगुलेशन की जरूरत ही नहीं है। वो तो नदी अपना रास्ता ही बदल गई। तो कुछ चीजों को हमको अंडरस्टैंड करना है कि कैसे इतनी तेज बारिश हो रही है, कैसे क्लाइमेट चेंज का असर हुआ है। एक पार्ट उसका है। दूसरा पार्ट जो है, जो मैन मेड मिस्टेक्स हुई है, सोचा नहीं कि अपने घर का पानी बाहर फेंक दो पहाड़ी में, पहाड़ी गिल्ली होती जाएगी, कोई नहीं, वो हमारी गलती हो सकती है। हम लोग जो समाज में जब सामर्थ हो जाते हैं, थोड़े स्वभाव से हम सोचते कि हमारे को थोड़ी और आए होगी, शिमला में कमर्शियल कॉम्प्लेक्स बना लो, उसका भी नुकसान होता है। तब स्ट्रक्चर इंजीनियरिंग फेल हो जाती है, जब स्ट्रक्चर इंजीनियर से हम पूछते नहीं है। तो ये मैं कह रहा हूँ। तीसरी बात, जो बाढ़ है, बाढ़ तो डैम के पानी के छोड़ने से आई है। पंजाब में भी आज उसी बीबीएमबी के पानी से बाढ़ आ रही है, वहां भी 40,000 लोग अफेक्टेड है। ये सब चीजों को अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ेगा, पार्ट 1 में, पार्ट 2 में, पार्ट 3 में। तो मेरे हिसाब से 3-4 चीजें मेरे ध्यान में आई जो मैं आपके साथ शेयर कर रहा हूँ।
सुखविंदर सिंह सुक्खू जी, मैं जानता हूं कि आपका समय बहुत कीमती है, आप व्यस्त है, यू आर ट्रैवलिंग अक्रॉस द स्टेट। आई विश द पीपल ऑफ योर स्टेट वंस अगेन that they emerge from this recovery. Natural calamity, do donate to the people of Himachal. Mr. Sukhu, thank you so much for joining me here on the news today. Let's take a break. When we come, let's turn to some good news. Tonight, it comes from Chennai. You're watching the news today. News without the noise.
From the biggest conflict zones,
we are at the hostile airbase and this is
to the biggest international moments, a reporter with India's flag on his sleeve and an unrelenting eye on terror, defense and national security, on the road, up the heights, in the trenches. He brings you stories that must unite us, because when it's national interest, it's India first. Monday to Friday 10 p.m. only on India Today TV.
There is a very serious allegation has been raised by former associate editor of Deshabhimani, the mouthpiece of CPM. Unfortunately, the CPM is keeping silence. Chief Minister is speaking silence. For last 6 months, the Chief Minister of Kerala is not speaking to the press or the people. I don't know what happened to him. This is a very serious allegation that money has been embezzled or taken by the Chief Minister as well as the Industries Minister. And I feel that a comprehensive inquiry is necessary to unearth the truth of this matter.
Welcome back. Let's turn to tonight's Good News Today story. It comes from Chennai, where athletes from violence-hit Manipur have made their way to the city for the Khelo India Youth Games 2024 after an invite by the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, who has assured the athletes of all help. I leave you with that story, with the hope that sports can build bridges and that the people of the state and indeed this country will always live in harmony. That's a prayer tonight. I leave you this Friday night with that prayer. Good night, goodbye. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
Manipur is in need of a healing touch amidst the raging ethnic conflicts, and sports is giving a little bit of that. Athletes from Manipur have flown to Chennai to train for the Khelo India Youth Games 2024, which will be held in Tamil Nadu. The trip to Chennai came after the Stalin government offered to host the athletes from Manipur till the actual event next year in view of the ethnic strife in the northeastern state. After the offer, 15 fencing players and 2 coaches from Manipur came to Chennai to follow their passion. The players expressed their gratitude to the Tamil Nadu government for understanding their difficult situation.
I'm very happy because they are giving us a great hall to practice here and giving us chances to come here and practice here during the riot. We cannot practice like last 3 months. We cannot practice here, but the Tamil Nadu government unexpectedly gives us a good opportunity to come here and practice here. We are so thankful to the Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister, the Sports Minister and the Sports Department, and also the coaches here. They were giving a great guidance to get our better performance here. So thank you so much for giving us a chance.
Even as they train in Chennai, their thoughts are with people suffering in Manipur.
बहुत मुश्किल है ट्रेनिंग करने में, क्योंकि वो जो हर बच्चे अलग अलग डिस्ट्रिक्ट से आता है, अलग अलग जगह से आता है. वो जो इंस्टीट्यूट एक जगह में इंस्टीट्यूट होता है, वो वहाँ पे कलेक्ट करके प्रैक्टिस करना है. ये वो जो कलेक्ट करना मुश्किल होता है. वो हर जहाँ पे वो ऐसा वगैरह वगैरह कर रहे हैं, ऐसे बोलेगा तो बच्चे नहीं आएगा तो हम कैसे कोचिंग देगा. गवर्नमेंट से मैं अपील करना चाहती है, हो सके तो जल्दी से जल्दी बातचीत करके को शांति ला दीजिए, ऐसे बोलना चाहती है.
The Tamil Nadu government has promised them all help.
Our Tamil Nadu fencing students, around 19 students are practicing here. So they are also having a conversation with them. They are also having an interaction with them. So it's helpful to both the teams.
With Shilpa Nair, Bureau Report, India Today.
बात किसी से नहीं छुपी कि बिहार में किस तरीके से अपराधियों ने अपनी जड़ों को न सिर्फ मजबूत कर लिया है बल्कि पूरे प्रदेश को अपनी गिरफ्त में ले लिया, और मौजूदा सरकार कहीं ना कहीं असहाय दिखती है इन अपराधियों के सामने. और मुझे कहने में इस बात को कहीं कोई संदेह नहीं है कि कई जगहों पर तो संरक्षण प्राप्त है इन अपराधियों को बिहार सरकार का.
4 अपराधकर्मी उनके दरवाजे पे पहुंचते हैं और आवाज़ देते हैं. आवाज़ देने पर निकलते हैं घर से बाहर और उनको गोली मार के और फरार हो जाते हैं. घटनास्थल पर ही उनकी मृत्यु हो जाती है. कक्षा में उनके शव को पोस्टमार्टम हाउस बुलाया गया. घटनास्थल पे FSL डॉग स्क्वाड बुलाया गया है. वहाँ पे वरीय पदाधिकारी इंस्पेक्टर्स कैंप कर रहे हैं। अनुसंधान की अग्रिम कार्रवाई चल रही है। बहुत जल्द अपराधियों को गिरफ्तारी की दिशा में हम लोग प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
क्या करें आप गरीबों के लिए? गरीबी हटाओ बोल के बोलते रहे, गरीबों को हटाए, गरीबी नहीं हटाए आप। लेकिन तेलंगाना में 10 साल में जो इंकलाब केसीआर साहब लेके आए, देश में कहीं और नहीं हुआ। तो क्यों जाना है कांग्रेस के साथ? क्यों वोट देना है कांग्रेस के साथ? क्यों देना है भाई कांग्रेस को वोट? कितने साल और मौका देते? नहीं थे क्या राज में? 62 इयर्स नहीं थे? तेलंगाना में भी थे 62 इयर्स। उनकी नानी थी, पापा थे, दादा थे, परदादा थे, सभी लोग थे। क्या हुआ? बदलाव आया? नहीं आया। फिर क्यों मौका देना है उनको?
The new Kia Seltos, the badass reborn. Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com. हर family होगी insured. Extra safe, Polycab Green Wire.
Shocking sextortion racket exposed. Mumbai model kingpin of the sextortion ring. Men trapped, blackmailed with sex videos. Coerced into marriage and conversion, claimed the police. Close to 50 men ensnared in sextortion web. Mumbai model absconding, 3 associates arrested. Sex, conversion or dhoka. That's our top focus on India First.
Be very careful who you interact with online and even offline. Meher, at least that's the name the police have as of now. The name on her social media platform was Neha. So Meher, a Mumbai model, allegedly a Mumbai model, stands accused of not only luring men to her house and then taking pictures with them in a compromising position, but then forcing them to convert or pay money. We will get you details of what the police believe could well be a well-organized conversion racket. The Deputy Commissioner of Police in Bengaluru has gone on record to say so far the information is that this gang, 3 members have been arrested so far. Meher is still absconding. According to the police, she's believed to have made close to 35 lakh rupees, trapping more than 50 men. I'm Gaurav Sawant. We will get you details. But as always, let's get started with the headlines at 10. Stunning new images of Moon's lunar surface captured by Chandrayaan-3. The Vikram lander is now just 112 kilometers away from the South Pole region of the Moon. Himachal death toll mounts to 75 in the aftermath of heavy rain and slides. Sukhu government declares whole hill state as a natural calamity impacted area. Newly appointed UP Congress chief says Rahul Gandhi will contest 2024 elections from Amethi against Smriti Irani. Congress sources say he's yet to confirm if Rahul will contest. Kota administration comes up with a bizarre solution for rising student suicides, fixes fans with springs in paying guest accommodation and hostels. Protests in Bengal's Jadavpur University turns ugly. BJP demands NIA probe into students' death. TMC alleges BJP workers thrashed students. A shocking sextortion and conversion racket has been busted by the police in Bengaluru. Meher, allegedly a model from Mumbai, and 3 of her associates stand accused of having amassed close to 35 lakh rupees from this sextortion and alleged conversion racket. The racket was on for more than a year, close to a year and a half is what police suspect. 3 of Meher's associates have been arrested. Close to 60,000 rupees have been recovered so far, but Meher is absconding. Sex, conversion and dhoka is the top story that a Karnataka bureau gets you tonight.
In pursuit of a female sextortionist, Bengaluru police are currently searching for this woman, Neha, who also goes by the alias Meher. Originally from Maharashtra, this woman has been named in a complaint for allegedly blackmailing her victims. She allegedly targeted men through the Telegram messaging platform, lured them to her home, and orchestrated covert recordings of sexual encounters with the involvement of her male accomplices. This alleged criminal operation led by Neha, also known as Meher, has been active in Bengaluru for a year and a half. The men she allegedly ensnared were subsequently subject to blackmail. They were coerced into marriage, conversion to Islam, or extortion of funds. Failing compliance, they were threatened with the release of compromising videos on the internet. A case has now been registered in Bengaluru's Puttanhalli police station. Each of her victims reportedly succumbed to extortion demands. One of the complainants disclosed that he was coerced into giving her up to 60,000 rupees.
ಪುಟ್ಟನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 2 ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ ಒಂದು FIR ದಾಖಲಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹನಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಕೇಸು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ 3 ಜನ ಆರೋಪಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೀವು ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ದುರ್ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮದೆಲ್ಲ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಈ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಂಡತಿಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ನೀವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ. ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಮಹಿಳೆ ಮೇಲೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರದು ವೈಫ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸುಮಾರು 50,000ಗಿಂತ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಅವರು ಪೇಟಿಎಂ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ.
According to detailed police report, Meher told the complainant that her husband worked in Dubai and that she was seeking a sexual partner. On March 3rd, 2023, around 3:30 p.m., the victim visited the accused's residence. 3 men appeared in the bedroom and filmed him in the sexual act. The complainant was threatened with being paraded naked in the streets, circumcised in a mosque, his nude pictures released, and married forcibly to Meher. As a part of coercion, he was held captive till 8 p.m. 21,500 rupees transferred from his account. The complainant later managed to escape. Her 3 accomplices, all from Karnataka, have been arrested. According to the police, the gang amassed over 35 lakh rupees from this extortion activities. Around 50 men are to be believed have fallen victim to this gang's manipulation and extortion. Yet the mastermind behind this operation remains at large. The primary suspect,
Neha, alias Meher, is suspected to be evading capture somewhere in Mumbai. Bureau Report, India Today.
Cases of extortion, cases of entrapment, cases of sextortion have been reported even before. But there is a different angle here. A sinister conversion angle adds a different dimension to these investigations. Joining me for more on the story, Jitin Jain is a very well-respected cybersecurity analyst. Syed Asad Abbas is an analyst who joins us from Karnataka. Dr. Vikram Singh is a security expert and a former Director General of Police. And Dr. Vikram Singh, I want to begin by asking you. Sextortion cases have been reported aplenty, especially in today's day and age. What do you make of the conversion angle? Forcing victims to convert to Islam, according to the complainant, forcing at least one to get circumcised unless he paid up.
Very well articulated, Gauravji. There is the sextortion, but this is absolutely takes the cake for being a very nefarious, well-orchestrated plan, sextortion with multiple dimensions of conversion, extortion, circumcision. Now, obviously, the motive is not only just money, but also a form of a jihad. I dare say, because I have experience, had it just been extortion for the sake of money, the dimension of circumcision going to the mosque and conversion would not have been there. But the fact that the conversion is there, therefore, my advice to each and every person is don't fall into the trap of social media honey trap, the horror of dating apps. I have yet to come across a single Indian dating app which has not had the notoriety of being a booby trap for sextortion. It may be a loud statement, but this is what I've come across. I had a university where I deal with youngsters. I deal with those who have fallen prey, but out of shame, they did not report to the police. But in case where this happens, I would strongly recommend the invoking of two provisions. NSA, Makoka, and also the UP Gangsters Act, where another sextortion racket was reported from Kanpur.
Interesting you should say that. You're saying that there is a sinister aspect that must be investigated and strong provisions of law applied. Syed Asad Abbas, what do you make of it? Yasin, Abdul and Sharan Prakash. So far, these are the three accused who've been arrested. But this main accused, according to the Bengaluru police, Meher, who went by the name Neha on social media platform Telegram, she's apparently still absconding. Doesn't this conversion angle add a very different dimension to this investigation?
Gaurav Saab, let me disagree with Janab Vikram Singh Sahib, who I have great respect for. The fact of the matter, let us agree here on one front. Undoubtedly, this is a sextortion case. This is a case which has been done for money. This is crime for money. Also, as a matter of fact, my real question is, before that, I unequivocally, unconditionally condemn such act. All those acts where they bring in the religion factor, circumcision factor, or the conversion factor. Now, my question to Vikram Singh Saab is, respected sir, if conversion is the case, don't you think it's a case for money, sir? Otherwise, why would a Sharan Prakash want victims to people to convert, sir? Why would a Sharan Prakash do that? They have only used the religion for conversion, circumcision, because they know a man true to the religion will not convert. This is nothing but a honey trap case, a extortion for money case, a sextortion case, and reading into the lines, they are using this conversion tactic, religion, only to make money. Okay. They must be dealt with iron hands. They must be booked under the strict provisions of the Indian Penal Code.
Give me a moment before I bring in Jitin Jain, since you've made a comment about Dr. Vikram Singh's statement. Sir, would you want to respond immediately?
Obviously, with the greatest of respect, Mr. Abbas, yes, you have a very pertinent point. But with this, I would be very naive and trusting if I were to take the whole thing from the face value. Are the names real? I have to go deep into that. The name you mentioned was Sharan. That has to be investigated. Even if it is Sharan and it happens to be a non-Muslim, the gang of criminals can have members of many communities and they are equal partners in sharing the booty. Therefore, I would say what is more important is the circumcision, going to the mosque and conversion. That, of course, is the lowest common denominator, which should crack the case. And that seems to be the major motive power.
Okay. As of now, of course, I must add from information that India Today's reporters have been able to glean. This is a complaint that's been made by one of the complainants. The police are still in the process of verification. Jitin Jain, as a cybersecurity analyst, you've dealt with online extortion cases, sextortion cases several times in the past, but sextortion that comes with an alleged conversion angle, and the complainant saying that he was threatened, he was told you either pay up or we will have you circumcised. That adds altogether a new twist to the tale, sir.
Look, Gaurav, I mean, we have had hundreds of cases in last 2-3 years where, you know, a gang of like small gangs of 4 or 5 people, including women and men, have been operating where they've been, you know, making video calls on WhatsApp and Telegram and then filming the victims in sexual acts or, you know, the naked acts, and then later blackmailing them by threatening to reveal their pictures to the family friends. I mean, that was more of an online extortion racket. But this here, you know, is something very different because it's not, you know, a digital extortion racket. It is more of a physical racket where somebody was invited to somebody's home, was filmed in the presence of multiple people, and then later threatened. Now, threats, one is to obviously pay money. Second is to then convert and, you know, circumcise and all those things. But let me tell you, and if it is only a extortion racket, then 4 or 5 people may have been involved. But if it is a conversion racket, as somebody is claiming, I don't know what the facts are, then I don't think she can be the mastermind. There would be someone else who is pulling the strings. I mean, 3-4 people cannot, you know, carry out this racket unless and until, I mean, some local religious figures have to be involved.
Interesting,
but
you should say
opinion,
that.
I think
yes.
in the previous past, we have seen that mostly, you know, these fanatic groups have used digital means to radicalize people, convert them. I mean, move towards taking radical means, sometimes for jihad and all those things. But we have not seen sextortion being used for conversion and then whatnot. But if it is the case, then it is a worrisome sign. It should be thoroughly investigated.
This indeed needs to be thoroughly investigated.
Then we have to find out who the, you know, string pullers are.
Oh, absolutely. Dr. Vikram Singh, before I bring in Syed Abbas, Dr. Vikram Singh, money, according to initial investigations, was actually paid online. In some instances through Paytm, in other instances through PhonePe. Brazen operations, leaving a very clear money trail. It seems neither the suspect Meher nor the accused, whether it's Yasin, Abdul or Sharan, had any fear of being caught, because this is an open and shut case as far as money trail is concerned, sir.
Very true, Mr. Gaurav. The complacency which all the accused felt for themselves that they will go undetected. Well, of course, they were living in a fool's paradise. But the fact that they did take money, they extort money and use Paytm and other UPI platforms to transfer money, the money and the financial trail are so obvious and incriminating that I think there is no escape route for all 3 of them. It's only a matter of time before the police close in on Meher and the 3, and also the kingpin, as Mr. Jain has very lucidly explained. These are the things that will go to explain how and what was the modus operandi and how they went about their extortion racket.
Okay, Syed Asad Abbas, more than 50 men are believed to have been trapped in the past year and a half. Money trail would actually help nab not just the accused, but if, as Jitin Jain points out, if there is a wider conspiracy or conversion was part of a bigger plan, that must be investigated, because money from one Paytm to the other, from one bank to the other, would ultimately have another beneficiary if this is a wider conversion racket.
Gaurav Saab, there were some interesting points made by Mr. Jain and Mr. Singh about a thorough investigation. Like Dr. Singh said that it could not be Sharan. We need to check what his real name is. We also need to check Abdul, Meher, Ekka, Neha's real names also. We need to know, is this in the guise? I totally see, you know, Singh Saab has great experience being the former DGP. I truly see this as extortion for money and nothing else. By saying that we will circumcise you, we will convert you, this is only fear tactics, scare tactics. Because we all know circumcision is not just any other surgery. They're trying to fool people to get the money out in the garb of conversion to bring a wrong name. I am sure no religion on this world will say honey trap somebody to convert, take money to convert, extort somebody to convert. Nowhere in the world I've come across any such case by doing wrong activities, criminal activities, and you're acting to convert. This is nothing but a open and shut case.
Criminal activity to convert has happened several times in the past, but this extortion for conversion, if true, makes it very, very different, or adds a different dimension to this. Jitin Jain, the victims actually fell in this trap themselves. They walked into it eyes wide shut. They met the model online, struck a conversation, went to her apartment willingly. But can a wider conspiracy actually be unraveled through a money trail since payments were made online?
No, we have seen like several examples of extortion. I mean, look at this example of loan apps we discussed previously. Thousands of victims were initially given loans, and giving loans and asking them horrendous rates of interest was just only a complete scam. It was a much bigger blackmailing scam, because those apps which were made, these people were tricked to install to obtain a lot were malwares.
Okay.
And they were blackmailed using personal data. And later we found that most of the companies were run by these fake Chinese directors who has obtained some fake Aadhaar cards.
Yes.
But that was a different thing altogether. See, the common denominator here is that on the use of social media, digital communications, digital payments to hide trails, ease the contacts, and using dating apps and all those things.
And,
so the problem
and this
here
is
that
where
I think we have to crack down.
men and women have to be extremely careful. You're absolutely right. I've run out of time on this part of the show, and we'll track this story very closely. Jitin, I'm sorry, because I do want to leave our viewers with another big story, and it's a huge push towards strengthening infrastructure at forward areas along the India-China line of actual control. The Border Roads Organization is building the world's highest tunnel. It's building the world's highest motorable road. It's also building the world's highest fighter aircraft base, all of these in eastern Ladakh. In an exclusive conversation with India Today, the chief of the Border Roads Organization, Lieutenant General Rajiv Chaudhary, said that the Border Roads Organization is going to break its own record of building the world's highest road at Umlingla Pass. Listen in, Manjeet Singh Negi spoke to him.
BRO एक नया रिकॉर्ड बनाने जा रहा है दुनिया की सबसे ऊंची रोड, उसके बारे में जानना चाहेंगे।
जैसे आपने बताया मंजीत की, हम लद्दाख से अरुणाचल तक सड़कें बना रहे हैं, और हमारा जो पिछला रिकॉर्ड है जो हमने सड़क बनाई उमलिंगला पर चिशुमले से डेमचौक 52 किलोमीटर की, वो वर्ल्ड की सबसे हाईएस्ट मोटरेबल रोड है। लेकिन अभी हमने 15 अगस्त को 3 दिन पहले एक सड़क निर्माण अभी हमने आरंभ किया है, जो लिकारू मिगला फुकचे तक जाएगा। 64 किलोमीटर की ये सड़क होगी, और ये तकरीबन 19,400 फुट पर मिगला है, तो उसके ऊपर से होता हुआ जाएगा। तो ये हमारे पुराने रिकॉर्ड जो हमने 21 में ही बनाया है अभी हाल ही में, उसको भी ये तोड़ देगा।
ऐसे कौन से महत्वपूर्ण सड़कें हैं, सामरिक सड़कें हैं लद्दाख में जिनको पूरा किया है और जिन पर काम चल रहा है?
सबसे पहले तो जैसे आपको मालूम होगा और आप गए भी हैं वहां पर, DSDB रोड का निर्माण किया हमने, मार्सी मिकला तक, कोबरंग मार्सी मिकला तक किया, और हॉट स्प्रिंग तक किया। चिशुमले डेमचौक रोड का निर्माण किया। ये बहुत ही अग्रणी रोड हैं हमारी, जो LAC के बिल्कुल नजदीक हैं। और अभी हमने हाल ही में काम शुरू किया है CDFD रोड पर। 26 जनवरी इस साल को CDFD रोड, दैट इज चिशुमले डुंगटी फुकचे डेमचौक, ये 121 किलोमीटर लंबी रोड है, और ये बिल्कुल LAC के साथ साथ चलती है। इसके बाद में हम बहुत सारी और रोड बना रहे हैं, जैसे ऑल्टरनेट कनेक्टिविटी DBO को देने के लिए ससोमा सासरला ब्रांगजा गैप्शन, वो भी हम काम कर रहे हैं, और जल्दी ही कनेक्टिविटी भी हो जाएगी उसमें। और मोरगो से ब्रांगजा, और ब्रांगजा पे 345 मीटर का एक शोक रिवर पर हम पुल भी बना रहे हैं।
It's truly an amazing feat, and I've had the privilege and the honor of traveling on the DSDBO road all the way up to Daulat Beg Oldie at the height of the India-China standoff. These roads give India the strategic edge in this very difficult area. All the best to the Border Roads Organization. That is all I have for you on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching. Coming up next is Abha Bakaya with Business Today.
A viral video for 2 people to be arrested after 77 days. How did the situation spiral out in Haryana so dangerously out of control? Where was the police? Fawzia ji, I promised you ek din aapka beta aayega.
Yeah, the promise is fulfilled. Thankful to you.
Fitness certificate के बगैर bridge reopen करना, ये किसकी जवाबदेही सर? a 3-time MLA, is beaten up in Imphal almost to death.
Till today, my tears can't stop. I'm eagerly waiting for my husband's recovery.
The beating heart of every story is on News Today with me, Rajdeep Sardesai, Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. only on India Today TV.
Those who pilot, they have their regular cardiovascular evaluation and they're usually very fit. It's very amazing to learn that how it happened to him. I'm sure he must have been having his regular checkup, he must be fit cardiovascularly, but what happened to him? Of course, the autopsy will guide us more, but in some such situation when they do not find there is no evidence of any heart attack as such, no acute myocardial infarction, even there is we should do a molecular autopsy to find out if there's has been a molecular basis or electrical basis of sudden cardiac death in this particular case.
अगर वो टेक ऑफ करके उसको हार्ट अटैक होता तो वो क्रैश कर जाता, जहाज भी खत्म हो जाता, वो भी खत्म हो जाता, और अगर उसमें यात्री होते तो वो भी गर्क हो जाते। 40 साल की उम्र में हाँ हार्ट अटैक वगैरह हो सकते हैं, उसको मेडिकली फिट रहना चाहिए, और डीजीसीए को ये देखना पड़ेगा कि अब जो भी आप मेडिकल का जो क्लियरेंस है उसको एक सेंट्रलाइज बॉडी उसको बहुत स्ट्रिक्टली मॉनिटर करे। एयरफील्ड के ऊपर ऐसा संस्था होनी चाहिए जो पायलट से पूछे तुम अपना मेडिकल सर्टिफिकेट भी दिखाओ, और वहाँ पे भी एक डॉक्टर होना चाहिए जो जाने से पहले एटलीस्ट तुम्हारा नब्ज चेक करे और हार्ट इत्यादि चेक करे। वो हो सकता है, इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है।
Here we have a majestic liftoff of LVM-3 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayaan-3.
It's a race to the moon now. As Chandrayaan-3 heads to the moon and will land on August 23rd, there is another country aiming to land at the exact same place, the moon's south pole. Russia's Luna 25 took off for the moon on August 10, a whole 35 days after Chandrayaan-3 was launched into space, and yet is expected to reach the moon a day before Chandrayaan does. So Luna 25 is taking just 12 days to reach the moon, whereas Chandrayaan is taking 40 days. But why is that? While Chandrayaan-3 weighs a whopping 3,900 kgs, the Luna 25 is much lighter, weighing just 1,750 kgs. That has made the biggest difference for the Russian moon mission. There are several other differences as well between the two missions, including the duration of the mission, which is 1 year for Russia versus 14 days for India. But does it really matter who gets to the moon first?
It does not matter. It does not matter, and the competition is all in the mind of the media. So imagine, I think Luna 25 probably started development in 2012 or 11, and Chandrayaan started development maybe, I don't know, 2-3 years ago at least. So, and on that day, do you think both the scientists on both these teams knew that the other person is also going and we are going to land the same day and we're trying to beat them? It is not possible. You know, these things take a lot of time.
The reality is India will join an elite league of just 3 nations, which included the Soviet Union, to make a soft landing on the moon. ISRO even congratulated Luna 25 soon after their successful takeoff and quipped about having another meeting point in our space journeys. So let's be clear, Luna 25's moon mission most definitely does not take the sheen away from the Chandrayaan mission. Bureau Report, India Today.
लेकिन एक चीज याद रखना, अगली बार जब भी अपना वोट दो, किसी पढ़े लिखे इंसान को अपना वोट देना, ताकि
This video of Karan Sangwan urging his students to vote for padha likha or educated politicians has cost him his job.
एक चीज याद रखना,
Days after the video went viral, Sangwan's employer, An Academy, which faced backlash from BJP supporters, sagged the entrance coach.
कुछ दिनों से एक वीडियो बहुत ज़्यादा वायरल हो रही है और जिस वीडियो की वजह से मैं कंट्रोवर्सी में आ गया हूं और उस कंट्रोवर्सी की वजह से मेरे काफ़ी सारे स्टूडेंट्स जो कि जुडिशियल सर्विस एग्जामिनेशंस के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं उनको काफ़ी सारे कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस फेस करने पड़े। साथ ही साथ में मुझे तो करने ही है कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस, मैं कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस काफ़ी सारे फेस कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि मेरे पास भी बहुत सारे मेरे पेरेंट्स।
In the viral video, Sangwan can be heard advising students vote for a literate politician and not ones who only changes names.
अगली बार जब भी अपना वोट दो।
Many on the net claimed the comment was targeted at Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
दोबारा जीवन में ना झेलना पड़े।
Sangwan's comment sparked a political controversy. Reacting to the video, Aam Aadmi Party Supremo Kejriwal went on to say that illiterate public representatives can never build modern India of 21st century. Congress too jumped in the fray and raised questions over the sudden termination of educator Karan Sangwan. The Grand Old Party went on to say that teachers in the country are facing this humiliation. Breaking silence on the issue, an academy issued a statement saying, "Classroom is not a place to share personal opinions and views as they can wrongly influence students." The EdTech firm further said that it was forced to part ways with Karan Sangwan as he was in breach of the code of conduct. However, the firing of the teacher has split the netizens, with many coming out in support of Karan Sangwan. There are others who believe he should have been let off with a warning. Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello and welcome. You're with us here on Business Today. I'm Abha Bakaya. Here are the day's top stories. The government planning a slew of measures to bring prices down, looking at tempering inflation before assembly elections. Business Today TV gets you the inside track on what's being planned. There's more trouble in China. One of the country's largest developers, Evergrande, filed for bankruptcy in the US, even as two housing giants default on debt servicing. Moody's reaffirms India's sovereign rating, says growth to outpace other G20 economies for at least 2 years, adds that potential growth limited only by inability to boost manufacturing and jobs. IT stocks tank as global indicators turn red. Real estate problems in China keep investors on the edge. Sensex and Nifty shed around 0.3% despite all Adani Group stocks surging and Reliance rising 0.5%. RBI brings relief to millions of borrowers, directs banks to bring in more transparency in floating rate loans, customers to be informed of all changes and to be given an option of shifting to fixed rate regime. The Modi government is preparing to deploy some big guns against a sudden surge in prices. While there are no specific details available yet of the measures which are likely to be announced in the next few weeks, Business Today TV's Karishma Sudani has an inside track into the action on Resina Hill. Here's a report.
It was this Monday that the shocker came. Government data that a huge rise in vegetable and food prices had pushed inflation to a 15-month high in July. The 7.44% figure is the highest since April last year and well out of the RBI comfort range of 6%. Importantly, the price rise is also well beyond the comfort range of most Indians. The alarm bells were loud enough to sound in the Prime Minister's Independence Day speech a day later.
महंगाई को नियंत्रित रखने के लिए भरसक प्रयास किए पिछले कालखंड की तुलना में हमें कुछ सफलता भी मिली है, लेकिन इतने से संतोष नहीं मान सकते। दुनिया से हमारी चीजें अच्छी हैं, इतने बात से हम सोच नहीं सकते। मुझे तो मेरे देशवासियों को महंगाई की बोझ कम से कम हो, इस दिशा में और भी कदम उठाने हैं और हम उस कदम को उठा के रहेंगे।
Highly placed finance ministry sources have told Business Today TV that the centre may soon unveil some measures with an eye on easing the impact of inflation on consumers. While the government believes that the recent surge in inflation is linked to seasonal variations and temporary disruptions in supply, the upcoming state assembly and next year's general election may necessitate a response to cool prices. Among the measures aimed at protecting the most vulnerable people in society is a possible extension of free food grain scheme under the National Food Security Act. In addition, the existing subsidy support for cooking gas under the Ujjwala scheme will continue. The government may also reduce import duty on wheat. There are also reports that the government may requisition some funds from various ministries to fund these moves, ensuring no additional burden is put on the exchequer.
Well, in order to control inflation, the government is, of course, trying to soften the blow and cushion the consumers with certain measures and cuts. The prominent one being a cut of tax on petrol and diesel. And besides that, the government is also exploring options to cut import duty on wheat and other food grains.
There are also steps under consideration to prevent hoarding to sensitive food products. The Finance Ministry may approach the Reserve Bank of India seeking restrictions on loans and advances given to traders of sensitive commodities including food grains, cereals, pulses, oilseeds, raw cotton and sugar among others. The objective in imposing credit controls would be to curb the use of bank credit for speculative holding of essential commodities and avoid the resultant rise in prices. Banks are required to segregate each commodity covered by such controls and fix the credit limits against each.
Well, the Reserve Bank of India and the central government is confident of the fact that the current inflation numbers and in fact the 7% high retail numbers have been only because of the seasonal changes in terms of the prices of vegetables and certain food products. While they are transient in nature, sources in the Finance Ministry have told us that they'll be cautious of any further increase in inflation if it continues to be for more than 3 months. In fact, we have also been told that the government will look at certain policy measures and intensify measures in case they are needed in order to soften the blow and cushion the middle class consumer of India. Karishma Astani reporting for Business Today Television.
China's property giant Evergrande has filed for bankruptcy in a US court. The developer was the largest in China till 3 years ago and now is the world's most indebted property developer. The filing seeks protection from overseas holders of $19 billion in bonds as the company restructures its debts. The latest move by Evergrande adds to the deep pain in China's once booming property market.
In yet another sure sign of the deepening real estate crisis in China, property giant Evergrande has filed for bankruptcy in the US. The move will allow the heavily indebted company to protect its assets in the US. The company has sought protection under Chapter 15 of the US Bankruptcy Code, which shields non-US companies that are undergoing restructurings from creditors that hope to sue them or tie up assets in the United States. Evergrande defaulted on its huge debts in 2021, which sent shockwaves through global financial markets. It basically ran out of cash and failed to pay its contractors and suppliers. It is the world's most indebted property developers with more than $300 billion in liabilities. The company's offshore debt restructuring involves a total of $31.7 billion, which include bonds, collaterals, and repurchase obligations. Negotiations with offshore creditors have been dragging on for more than 18 months, without any solution in sight. While Evergrande's default 2 years ago set off initial concerns about China's property sector, signs of a second wave of distress are emerging. Recent economic data reflects deepening anxiety with some of the biggest companies in China's real estate market struggling to find the money to complete developments. China's largest surviving property developer, Country Garden Holdings, defaulted on its debt payments last week. The company has 3,121 projects across the country. Zongrong International, a major Chinese trust firm with substantial real estate exposure, has also missed some repayment obligations, highlighting the outsized exposure of China's $3 trillion shadow banking sector to the real estate industry. For the buyer, who has made payments and has the burden of a home loan, there is little chance of getting possession of a house with Chinese developers, leaving a string of unfinished homes, shattering investor confidence in a blow to the world's second largest economy. Earlier this month, China said its economy had slipped into deflation, with consumer prices declining in July for the first time in more than 2 years. The country's imports and exports also fell sharply last month, with exports down nearly 15% versus a year ago. Morgan Stanley cut China's growth to 4.7% this year from the earlier 5%. JP Morgan has pegged the figure at 4.8%, while Barclays has trimmed it to 4.5%. Earlier this week, China's central bank unexpectedly cut key interest rates for the second time in 3 months in a bid to boost the economy. China's housing sector contributes nearly 30% to the country's GDP, and a crisis in the sector has fanned risk of financial contagion, which could have a destabilizing impact on an economy already weakened by tepid domestic consumption, faltering factory activity, rising unemployment, and weak overseas demand. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
The big question everyone is asking is, will the trouble in China cast a long shadow on India? Should Dalal Street investors be worried? My colleague Sakshi Batra got some answers from market analyst Abhishek Basumalik. Let's listen in.
Why is the land market so central to China, and how big could this property crisis really get, and what could be the impact on India, if at all?
See, there will probably not be any direct impact on India, but for the Chinese domestic economy, land and real estate has been one of the greatest sources of savings for the common people, right? So if you look at, how Chinese people actually save money, the most predominant savings is through real estate. And right now, the situation is that real estate prices are falling.
So, Basumalik, could this also have an impact on the way the flows also come in from foreign investors, since China is going through this economic meltdown and foreign investors just started to put in money in the Indian markets after a long haul? Will this mean added advantage for India at all?
It is definitely an advantage because large global investors are, if you look at the emerging markets basket, there was only, in terms of the larger economies, you have India, you have South Korea, you have, China was there. So if you look at now, what is happening is, China is increasingly getting lower and lower inflows. And that is going to, part of it is going to come down to India.
Average Indian investor, how does one read through these developments in China then? For a person who has a large part of investment in the equity markets in India, in the debt market, in the property market in India, and some part of the investments, say, across the world through mutual funds as well, what does that average investor really do?
See, from an average investor perspective, I think for the next maybe week, 2 weeks, we need to be a little bit more cautious. We want to see how this plays out. But other than that, I don't think there is any major impact that is going to come to India from whatever is happening in China. that at a bottom line level, I don't think an average investor in India needs to worry about what's happening in China beyond, let's say, the initial knee-jerk reaction that might happen.
Equity markets ended the week on a dismal note, with benchmarks settling lower for another session on the back of muted global cues, renewed fears of an interest rate hike in the US, and concerns over the health of the Chinese economy dented sentiment. A weakening rupee also cast a shadow on the market today. Sensex was down 200 points, Nifty over 50 points today. On the upside, Adani Enterprises and Ports continue to stand out. Eicher Motors, Maruti, Britannia making up the gainers list today. Top laggards, however, Hero MotoCorp, Tech Mahindra, TCS, Hindalco and Infosys. The tech and auto really spoiling the mood. Let's take a very quick break. When we come back, more on the debate on generic versus branded medicine. Stay tuned.
Very surprised at the hostility which this government shows towards education and educational institutions. They are so deeply influenced by WhatsApp University that they are out to undermine these seats of education, these temples of education. Whether it's Osmania University, Hyderabad University, whether it's JNU, whether it's this academy, whether it's Ashoka University, whether it's Aligarh Muslim University, Jamia, this government, the Modi government, is out to destroy our educational institutions.
What was the modus operandi of this extortion gang in Bengaluru via Mumbai? Here's what happened. They would contact some of these men from a Telegram application, send them text messages, which would be, of course, very appealing in nature. And then eventually they would meet these men. There would be an approval for consensual sexual acts. And while these acts were taking place, there were 3 other accused. As you can see their images on your screen. They would then record these actions and in compromising positions when the couple would be. Now, when they had the videos with them, they were forced to convert, marry, and most likely the men would say no to that. And when they would say no to the conversion, they would be forced to pay some ransom, and extortion of money took place. About 60 to 70,000 rupees per individual, and that led to about 50 to 60 lakh rupees that they had eventually been able to amass. And that is when the matter eventually reached the cops, while the men were being blackmailed for more and more money. And eventually the cops were able to investigate this further. Now, the shocking thing is that this model, the woman, her name is Neha alias Meher. She's absconding for now. She's still missing. She's not been arrested. While the gang and these men on your screens have been taken into judicial custody for now.
क्या करें आप गरीबों के लिए? गरीबी हटाओ बोल के बोलते रहे, गरीबों को हटाए, गरीबी नहीं हटाए आप. लेकिन तेलंगाना में 10 साल में जो इंकलाब केसीआर साहब लेके आए, देश में कहीं और नहीं हुआ. तो क्यों जाना है कांग्रेस के साथ? क्यों वोट देना है कांग्रेस के साथ? क्यों देना है भाई कांग्रेस को वोट? कितने साल और मौका देते? नहीं थे क्या राज में? 62 इयर्स नहीं थे? तेलंगाना में भी थे 62 इयर्स. उनकी नानी थी, पप्पा थे, दादा थे, परदादा थे, सभी लोग थे. क्या हुआ? बदलाव आया? नहीं आया. फिर क्यों मौका देना है उनको?
14 दिन की कस्टडी जेसी के लिए भेज दिया गया है और 148, 149, 323, 353, 395, 397 और 506, 25 आर्म्स एक्ट की जो धाराएं लगाई गई है, उसमें से 395 और 97 जो दो धाराएं हैं डाउटफुल है, क्योंकि लहराते हुए तलवार भाले वगैरह लेकर के आए. इनमें ये बनती नहीं है, क्योंकि ये धाराएं जो है रॉबरी की और डकैती की है. इसलिए इनको पार्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन में चार्ज के टाइम पर हम इसको डिलीट कराएंगे, चाहे हमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक क्यों ना जाना पड़े. रिकवरी दिखाई है सर? इसमें 8 तलवारें दिखाई है रिकवरी की.
सर इनको कहाँ, कौन सी जेल में भेजा जाएगा?
अब इनको जो है नीम का जेल के लिए आदेश करें कोर्ट ने, और आज इनको नीम का जेल के लिए भेज दिया है.
Welcome back. The Reserve Bank of India has issued fresh guidelines for banks issuing loans on floating interest rates. In an order which will bring relief to millions of loan customers, banks have been asked to keep customers informed of every change made to their loan conditions. Banks will have to clearly communicate to the borrowers about the change in EMI or loan tenure. Banks will also have to provide the borrower with an option to switch over to fixed rate as per their board policy. Banks have been asked to ensure that an increase in tenure doesn't lead to any negative amortization. Banks have till the end of this calendar year to ensure that the new rules are in place. Here's what else is making news in the corporate world. Reliance Industries rallied by almost 2% after the announcement that Jio Financial will be listed on the 21st of August. For 10 trading sessions, a stock will be included in the Trade for Trade segment. Reliance shareholders have already received Jio Financial stocks in their accounts. Currently, Jio is trading under a dummy ticker symbol following the price discovery at 261 rupees. The Adani Group's market capitalization has reached 11 lakh crores for the first time since February, with all of its listed entities rallying by up to 12% in trade. The surge comes amid rumours that the company is in talks with Abu Dhabi National Energy for investment in Adani's thermal transmission, clean energy and green hydrogen sectors. However, the Adani Group has issued a clarification notice stating that the rumours are false and that there are no investment plans with them. Concord Biotech made a robust debut, opening at a premium of 21% at 900 rupees compared to its issue price of 747 rupees. By the end of trading, the stock had risen to 27%, that's to 943 rupees. The Racket backed company raised 1,551 crores through its IPO, which garnered significant investor interest over the 3-day bidding. It was subscribed 24.7 times, with retail investors subscribing 3.78 times. Yesterday, we brought you a small chunk of the debate on new guidelines by the National Medical Commission asking doctors to prescribe only generic medicine. This move has been met with a backlash by both doctors and the pharma industry, united in opposing the move. Today, BTTV Managing Editor Siddharth Zarabi spoke to a panel of experts on the findings of a survey conducted on the issue to find out what consumers want.
What would you want your doctor to prescribe for your ailment? And this is the crux of today's debate and the debate that we've been having earlier. And the responses are varied. You can see 60% of the responses saying a branded drug along with the name of the salt in case the patient wants to opt for generics, followed by name of the salt and as an example the name of a branded drug. Sachin, if you are back with us, I want you to explain this particular set of responses for our viewers.
Absolutely. So this has been another, major subject of discussion since the NMC guidelines came, Siddharth. And this is where, when we asked people, what is it that they want to see on the prescription, a whopping 60% people basically said that, look, I want to benefit from the doctor's experience and their knowledge with different medicines and their diagnosis, of course. And therefore, I want the doctor to write the name of the branded medicine that they recommend, as well as the name of the salt. So that way, if it is something that I cannot find, I have an alternate that I can, get in my area or from my chemist. Also, if I cannot afford, the branded medicine, because let's say it's expensive and beyond my budget, then I can go and seek an alternate medicine.
Dr. Jayadevan, what do these numbers tell you? People want to exercise their choice, free will really. They want to know the best, and they also want to know the base drug, the salt that is composed of in what the doctor is recommending.
Okay, our viewers might not necessarily fully understand the word generic and branded. It's quite possible without a healthcare background, you might have a vague idea, but actually they may not understand. So that might have influenced the survey. But let me give you, to make this absolutely clear, let me present a very simple hypothetical example. Let's say we go to a shop. I go to a shop to buy toothpaste, and I use Colgate. It's just my choice. Or let's say I use Closer, common brand. I go to the shopkeeper and say, I want Colgate toothpaste. The shopkeeper says, no, you can't have it. then he gives you a blank white tube of toothpaste and says, you can have this. And I go, excuse me, I wanted Colgate, not a white tube of paste. He said, no. According to the new law, I decide what toothpaste you will take, not you. And this is the predicament that the doctors are facing now.
It's very clear that the ideal set of sort of directives have been framed, and perhaps the underlying assumption has to do with both suspicions and fears about prescription malpractice, as well as a belief that too much profits are being made in the so-called branded drug segment, and therefore affordability must be pushed. And in fact, the guidelines actually refer to that. What's your own view as to the dilemma that your findings present for policymakers should they choose to respond to them?
So Siddharth, we are going to escalate them to all the findings of this survey on Monday. But basically, see, what the findings are suggesting is that we do have a medical ethics problem in our country. At least that's what there's a very strong perception amongst the citizenry that this is something that needs to be reformed. It exists, and the NMC guidelines are a forward-looking step to reform the medical malpractices that exist. So by and large, there is support for the NMC, bill or the law. At the same time, people are skeptical that, how will you enforce a complex law like this, where, health being a state subject, how will the complaint grievance redressal mechanism work? How will you get status of a complaint? Will you take collective action on some of these issues? If there is a medical chain or a brand involved and there is, a violation. So I think all of that has to be figured out from an implementation standpoint. Okay. Now, coming to the prescription bit of what people want to see in the prescription, the doctor's prescription, there's very clearly, the survey indicates that people are not supporting what the government is proposing.
That's it on the show tonight. Thanks so much for watching.
We are short of water. We are not getting rainfall. And the Cauvery basin of Karnataka, they have not been provided with water. They have not been allowed to irrigate or to grow crops. Whatever was saved, now it's been completely given to Tamil Nadu. What way it is justice? See, justice is sharing between both the states. They have not given the state share. Our farmers are not being allowed to make use of the water. Only exclusive right to Tamil Nadu is not fair. Being an irrigation minister of the state of Karnataka, he has done complete injustice to the state of Karnataka.
देखिए, पूरे देश के अंदर जिस तरह से भाजपा की केंद्र सरकार ने अपने एजेंसियों को दुरुपयोग करके जिस तरह का एक दहशत का माहौल बनाया हुआ है, उसमें हर कोई डरा हुआ है और उस डर का परिणाम ये दिख रहा है कि हर कोई अपने को बचाना चाहता है। मुझे लगता है कि कोई भी अगर ये बात कहता है कि पढ़े लिखे लोगों को वोट दें, तो अब ये पढ़े लिखे शब्द जो है ऐसा फील होने लगा है कि ये सत्ता विरोध का प्रतीक बनता जा रहा है। और मुझे लगता है कि इंस्टीट्यूट इसी दहशत में आकर के निकालने का फैसला लिया होगा, क्योंकि ये संभव है कि जिस इंस्टीट्यूट के टीचर ने ये कहा कल सीबीआई और ईडी पहुंच जाए और उस इंस्टीट्यूट को तबाह कर दे, तो एक दहशत का जो माहौल है, मुझे लगता है उसका परिणाम इस घटना में दिख रहा है। धीरे धीरे लग रहा है कि सरकार ऐसे मान बैठी है कि ये उसके खिलाफ यूज किया जा रहा है।
There is a very serious allegation has been raised by former associate editor of Deshabhimani, the mouthpiece of CPM. Unfortunately, the CPM is keeping silence. Chief Minister is speaking silence. For last 6 months, the Chief Minister of Kerala is not speaking to the press or the people. I don't know what happened to him. This is a very serious allegation that money has been embezzled or taken by the Chief Minister as well as the Industries Minister. And I feel that a comprehensive inquiry is necessary to unearth the truth of this matter.